Sullivan, City of Darien, Alderperson for Ward 5. I serve as the chairperson for the Admin Finance Committee. I would like to call to order the meeting of the whole, Committee of the Whole, with alderpersons, our mayor, city treasurer and clerk, city administrator. We've got two senior staff members, Julie Sands and Lisa Clem, along with Dan Gombick tonight. And we will be here to review, discuss, conduct Q&A, and come to a consensus on the fiscal year 27 budget. The document you have all received is a collaborative effort of the mayor, administrator, treasurer, and city staff. It has taken countless hours and months of preparation and research. We are all very grateful for the hard work the team has put into preparing this budget and backup. Tonight, I will serve as your facilitator since I'm the chairperson. Tonight is the first in a series of meetings with the end goal being to have a public hearing on the budget and the city council vote to approve on Monday, April 6th. My goal is to complete this review in 2 meetings and conclude tonight by 9:30. We will take a few breaks along the way as needed. The committee of a whole will meet again next Wednesday, February 25th at 6:30 in the city council chambers. Last night, the city council meeting, Administrator Vanna provided us with an overview of the fiscal year 27 draft budget, general fund and revenue fund. If there are no further questions about those areas, I would like us to begin tonight with the department budgets, starting with the city council. After that, we will do administrative, community development, streets, and capital projects. Next week, on the 25th of February, we will start with the police department and then move on to the Darien Business Alliance and community events. We will wrap up with the SSA and MFT. Ideally, we will get through all these in the 2 meetings, but if there's still some overflow, we can take advantage of that and any wrap-up items, hopefully at the city council meeting on Monday, March 2nd. All city council members received copies of this budget, electronic or hard copy, whatever they requested, and summary pages and supporting documents. All this information has been published on the City of Darien website. These meetings are broadcasted on our Channel 6 and available for viewing on the city website and on the YouTube channel. So without any further ado, Mayor Marquez, do you have anything to add to that?
I'm sorry, I just want, I'm sorry if I did not hear it, but I don't know if you said the water fund next meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not, but thank you. I did some editing today and I must have edited that out. Okay.
I just want to thank the city staff for the presentation and all the hard work that's gone into this. And I'm sure that we will be able to get through this in a couple of evenings. It's well prepared.
Treasurer Corn, do you have anything to add?
I talked too much last night. I'm going to sit back and listen tonight.
Okay, listening ears, okay.
That'll be about 3 minutes.
Okay. If that's
Make
at all
a bet on
possible,
that one.
yeah.
Here, you want a cracker?
Okay, then I'm going to turn it over to Administrator Vanna, if you have anything else you want to add, or?
I think it's always nice to start with the city council. It's like the bullpen. You know, everybody can take a look at it. It's a pretty light budget.
Right,
There's not many changes
I'll let you know.
from last year. The one thing just to note, we did include
53.
53.
Oh, you get the hard copy.
I got hard copy.
Yeah, 53. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll check with, I'm not going to keep my iPad open, so. I'm working off a hard copy, so it's page 53, but electronically
61.
61. Okay. I'm sorry, Brian, didn't mean to.
So that the only notable is we took a look at the education budget that we have been putting in the city council for the alderpersons, and we have not used that hardly at all. Joanne has used it in the past for the one of the clerks' conferences. I don't recall which one, but what we did add is an attempt that the municipality and the members of the city council have been branching out more, maybe going or wanting to go to other community functions. Addison has a function, a number of them do, and this is above and beyond what we have budgeted in the Page Managers and Managers Conference. We have 4,500 under 4265, and what we included in there, total of 4,500, and we allocated $1,000 for Mayor Marquez to attend various municipal functions, and then 500 per each alderperson to attend municipal functions. And Mayor, you've been to a few, I think, most recently Addison had something, a nice function you went to, and a number of communities do. Locally, they might have them, some of our neighbors. So we thought in the event that the city council wanted to branch out more, we allocated some money in there. And again, it's not defined yet, but easily defined, it's municipal functions at local communities. You know, non-political, not political functions, anything like that. Just, again, events that our neighbors are having that you'd like to attend.
Any questions for Brian? Yes.
Guys, I might be out on an island on this one, but I gotta bring this up. I started my 17th year and we're all getting paid $300. And it's not the $300 and it's not about the raise. This is gonna sound kind of silly, but if we give ourselves a raise eventually, we might want to consider it because it's not even the cost of adjustment. And I, you know, be careful what you wish for, Ted Shower. The point is, if we end up ever giving ourselves a raise, we might attract some younger people eventually that might want to get involved. We don't want to lose our job, I get it, but we also want to make sure that's a little bit attractive in the future. You know, it's one of those situations we haven't talked about, we just skip on over it. And guys, $300 is not that much, and let's say that we doubled it. Okay, somebody on the patch is gonna say, oh, we doubled our salary. 100% increase of nothing is still very limited. There's something
You
that I
say
just.
$300, you mean a month?
A month, exactly. You know, it's just one of those situations that eventually we should really talk about it. Because after 17 years, I don't remember the last time we guys had a raise on the council, but it's something that, you know, I find out a lot of people that don't want to get involved in it because they just say it's not worth it. You know, whether it's the time or money or whatever, it's also something, you know, for the future. So, again, I might be on an island, but I had to bring it up, so.
When I was first elected back in '97, older people received $2,400 a month. And
A year.
a year, excuse me, $2,400 a year. And early in my, I don't know if it was the late 1990s or early 2000s, it was before Brian came, because Brian doesn't even remember it. We voted to add $100. I don't know how we impacted, I forget how we impacted the clerk, the mayor, and the treasurer. I know they got raises, but aldermen went up from 2,400 to 3,600. But the caveat is, you didn't get it until you were reelected to that position. So if we decided tonight to give all the older people a raise of $100 a month to 4,800 or whatever it is, you wouldn't get it until you ran again and you were elected again. That's the caveat.
Well, just a question, is that was the caveat then, or does that need to be the caveat?
Yeah.
I guess is there, I'm just curious, is there a legality to that?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, there is?
I think
There
it's
is.
just done.
You can't give yourself a raise, so whoever would replace you, or if you were reelected, then the new dollar amount goes into effect.
So,
Because people were currently elected under this dollar amount.
Correct.
And then a future dollar amount, if there was to be a change, would not come into place until.
Until
Got
that
it.
position is up for election. Correct, Brian?
Understood.
Yeah, there are also some
I just was curious, because I
timing
Yeah.
didn't
I
know.
think you have to pass an ordinance 180 days before
Prior
you
to.
enact the rate. There's some rules that I'd have to, again, check with Attorney Murphy, but there are some timing rules also.
So it wouldn't affect the next two budgets, right? Because you know.
There's elections next year.
Yes,
Oh, there is, yeah, well, so it wouldn't affect this budget, but it would affect the following budget.
correct.
That's fast moving.
And it would be like, almost like a
Yeah.
rollout, because it wouldn't be everybody. And, okay, so since we're talking about the $3,600 a year for alder people, what is the annual for the mayor?
$67.50.
It's a random number. Clerk?
$450 a month, $5,200, same for the treasurer.
Okay. And is there any other paid elected positions?
No.
No.
Okay.
If you
Figured,
do-
full
If you
disclosure.
do a comparison, there are communities where, I'll give you, for instance, Woodridge, the mayor makes $9,000, River Ridge, the mayor makes $13,000. Willowbrook, the mayor makes $25,000. Mayor Barnett in Downers Grove makes $2,400.
Which is such a big
The mayor of
community.
Clarendon Hills makes nothing. There's no, so it varies. It depends on the community.
In Westmont, I remember too that the only person who takes a salary is the clerk, because years back, they decided to keep the money in the village, that they work as volunteers.
So it's, the council has to make a decision if they want to do something like that. The stipend has been in place, the $3,600 has been in place since even before Ted was elected, which was 17 years ago. And like I said, it was probably about 2000, 2001. So it's been 26 years since we had a raise.
Yes, Mike?
I've been quiet long enough.
I said 3 minutes.
I appreciate your sentiment, Ted, but I can't, even if you doubled it, I can't imagine somebody taking the position for $600 a month or whatever we might agree to. I mean, in my mind, we're trying to do the best for our community.
I know.
I mean, I'd do this thing for nothing. I think most of us here would. And I think those are the types of people we're looking for. I don't want somebody that's looking, hey, yeah, it's making another $300, so I'm gonna go run against Ted or whoever it is.
No, I get you. Like I said, it's one of those that I want to throw out and have a discussion, because, I mean, that's one part of it. You're 100% correct, but at the same time, I mean, you never know, so.
But again, the pretext that we're gonna attract more people, you're not gonna get a tech geek out of college to come and say, yeah, I'm gonna do it because I'm getting $600 a month.
No, I get you.
That's all.
But, like I said, it's a discussion.
I also feel, I'm sorry, but Tom,
I was gonna
please
say, I don't
go.
think it's a terrible idea, but I think we're obviously getting way ahead of ourselves in that the next election wouldn't be till May, and if we have to do it 180 days in advance, this is more like something that would be in December of this year where we'd have to pass an ordinance, correct?
Well, no, it would have to be at least 180 days prior to any election, I believe. So you
Okay,
could
so
visit
November.
any time prior to that, as long as you're within that
Understood, but I mean,
time.
it's not gonna affect this budget in any way. We couldn't affect this budget even if we wanted to.
Only in a 3-year forecast it would impact, yes.
Right. So I think it's worth talking about, but I don't think we need to make any decisions today.
Because making a decision today, it would not be impacted until next year's budget. Well, in the forecast, we understand that.
Yes, correct.
I do think, though, I applaud Ted for bringing it up, because it's a subject some people would like, not want to. But I also feel that if it was to be something entertained, it should be across the board for all elected officials, should be impacted if there was to be some type of increase. But I think we've been gifted now with it being brought up and the opportunity to think about it and dwell on it, and maybe, we can get some type of chart to see what other communities make their elected officials, just as a point of comparison. Because I think even if we gave ourselves or voted on a penny raise, there's gonna be pushback from people. So I think, there's gonna need to be a reason to justify it. And the time span is justification enough, and the cost, but I know this was brought up as a possibility, because this was something that was mentioned in goal setting, in comments, was, if there's other areas, and we can talk about that, for instance, the city buying the parade candy for people, so everyone's giving out the same candy, and it would be, just, if there's other ways that because we all incur a lot of personal expenses by being in this position. That could be covered to be a participant in something. I'm not saying, I like to give out my, bullseyes, which, I'm sure the city's not gonna buy, but, just other areas too that might be entertaining. Okay, anyone else wanna talk more about the salaries?
The only thing I would say, we'll come across certain issues that it would really be nice to hear from all the elected officials.
Right.
It would just give a better indication of direction. I would hate to have a conversation, not get all the comments, and
Sure.
then find out there was a majority that didn't want something.
Okay.
So unless, it would be helpful for everybody.
Okay, so obviously we know how Ted feels.
Yes.
Ralph, is this something you'd be interested in exploring?
I definitely would. If it hasn't been changed in 20 years, the $300 that was being given at 20 years ago, I don't know what that's worth today, $100? So it would I mean, if it was $100 across the board, we should have some numbers. How would that impact our budgets? All of those things. So I definitely would look at investigating it.
Joe, Kenny?
I mean, I could take it either way, but I know that if you're looking at the whole council, treasurer, clerk, mayor, alderpersons, our mayor is grossly underpaid for the amount of work that he does and the amount of time he does. So he's probably deserves to get, that's position at least deserves to get a raise in it. And if that be the case, then we should tail along with it, so.
It's also important to note that the position is not meant to be a full-time position.
No,
And the previous mayor and the mayor 20 years from now might, and it's a part-time position, so.
I understand.
I mean, but yeah, I agree with you, grossly underpaid, working his tail off
Correct.
for our city, but he's not, obviously, he's a clear indication of he's not doing it for the money.
Right.
He's doing it because he wants to. So could go either way.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
I was a ma'am the last time I checked. Mike?
You've already heard my thoughts. I mean,
Yes.
I'm on a per hour basis, yeah, we're not getting paid what we're worth, but like you said, Joe really puts in a lot of time on this, and a lot of us put in a lot of time, but there's no correlation between the time you spent and that. And again, a few $100s is not going to attract who you're looking as a full-time godsend to this council. Again, I think it's more for the good of the city that we're doing it, and I think those are the types of people you're looking to attract. If you're looking at it for the dollars, I don't think anybody would want any of these positions, to be honest with you.
Okay. Joanne?
I could go either way, but I will say that when we were passing out packets previously, someone had come to the counter asking, what's the salary? And when they were told, I wouldn't do it for that. So in a way, Ted is absolutely correct. But there again, that person was thinking that this was a full-time position. We are not full-time. I'm on my 15th year right now. And the last 2 years, I've been a little scattered. But before I used to come in 4 times a week at least and spend a couple hours each day. So I'm doing it for my community, really.
And thank you for that. Joe Marquez? Mayor McCase?
For me, the opportunity to come in every day and be with a group of people who I enjoy being with is a reward for me. The hard times we went through as a family last year and we continue to go through was made much easier because I could come in and work with people. And I had some way of not having to think about that every day. So it's not necessarily a monetary thing for me, it's more of the ability to come to a place where I have a challenge every day and I get to work with good people in resolving those challenges. Now, I will say, though, that as far as the aldermanic positions, I think for the time you guys put in, I think something like $100 or whatever kind of increase would be fair. Not necessarily for me, but I think for you guys.
I'm going to skip over Jerry just because Alderman Gustafson has to leave for a while because he is going to the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, which is across the street at the police station. Alderman Gustafson, how do you feel about the compensation?
I'm kind of either way. Personally, it's probably not going to impact me because I doubt if I'm going to run again. So, I mean, it's really for the next group of people that come in. And is that going to make a difference to them? Probably not. It's not going to be enough to really make a difference, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And you're excused if you're welcome to stay, but I know you need to go. Okay. Thank you. Lagansky.
Yeah, I pretty much, I think, either way as well. I don't do it for the money either.
Well, you donate yours to a scholarship.
Yeah, I give
your
it all
salary.
away, so I guess I can give away more, but do you attract anybody? I don't think so. I think we're here because we want to do this, and that's why we got involved. Yeah, I don't know if it'd make a difference one way or the other, so again, I can go either way, but yeah, like you said, it's gonna be, even if it's $100, it's gonna be, aldermen's vote, 33% increase. That's what they're gonna say. And in the scheme of things, it's still nothing, but again, I can go either way.
Okay. I'm leaning towards no, but you know, I understand, I think it's a good idea to have a discussion, to go through it and explore it, but I too agree that, I mean, I think of the people who are on the school board who probably have a job 10 times harder than us and they don't get paid a dime, and they come under tremendous ridicule, but,
Good point.
but I understand why, you know, we would entertain it, and I'm not against exploring it, but I'd probably still be a no. And Tom Belzak?
I'd be leaning towards yes. Again, probably won't affect me because I don't plan on running again, but that doesn't mean I can't be talked into it. But I mean, what's our median age here, guys? I mean, to Ted's point, I would love to see some 30, 40-year-olds get on city council. And I don't know if this is gonna attract it, but it won't deter it, so.
That's valid.
And if it has been 20 years, I think the cost of living has, as Ralph said, probably quadrupled. So, it's a stipend, but I don't think it's gonna break the city budget either to increase it.
I will say that, even though there's not a prescribed amount of time that as an alderman I'm supposed to put in, I was gently surprised at the amount of time that it's consumed of my life. Because I don't think a week goes by, and I'm sure that everybody can say this, that you're not hearing from a resident with some sort of concern or issue, and it really is not a full day's work by any means, but every day I feel like I put some sort of effort into doing something, which is exactly what I was looking for. I mean, I'm not looking for a raise in any way. When I ran for this, I had no idea if I even got paid. I kind of in the back of my head assumed I didn't. So it was almost like a giant bonus when they told me, wow, $300 a month? So, you know, it's and as far as people, you know, getting 33%, I think that a lot of people would look at it, as Ted said, and say, that's all they're getting paid? I thought they were all making 50, 60 grand a year. I mean, if you look at county board positions,
You're what, 50?
they're 50 to 60 grand a year. I know the Forest Preserve just went up 6,000 a year for the people coming up next, so they're, that's a lot. And they've got one meeting a week, but probably put in as much effort as any of us on the council do, so.
And some of them get pensions.
And IMRF, you know, obviously that's not something that we do, which I don't know if the public is aware of.
We don't get a pension?
The pension is $800 a month.
You're
You get a
17 years too late,
pinch,
Sean.
but not a pension.
Right, exactly.
So,
Guys, I appreciate the
No
discussion, I
problem,
do.
no.
so.
And does that help, Brian?
Yeah, we'll look into it, do some, you know, we'll check around other communities and bring it back sometime after May, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, so going back to the city council budget, obviously we, jumped on down to, Brian was discussing training and education and travel and meetings. Is there anything else, and we just talked about salaries, which is the first line item. Is there anything else, anyone has any questions on any of the other categories or accounts? Yes.
Quick,
Well,
it's not a lot, but
Jerry.
it'll pay for our raises. The cable operations, Bright, I mean, we've been like, you know, 5-6 grand and 8,400. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it just seems like a pretty, you know, is it just,
Yeah, we have there was a point in time where we had volunteers and enough volunteers, and that went away. And, you know, we have a company now that pretty much does all of our meetings, and they've submitted for a slight increase, at least I don't recall the current fee, but that's what it pays for. They attend the meetings, they're here tonight filming.
well, no, I mean, like, because you're estimating at 6,600 and then you're jumping up to 84. I mean, it's, you know, it's not a lot, but I was just curious as to,
It's going
yeah.
up $50 a month, $50 a meeting.
It's going up $50 a meeting. And, I mean, I could look at that number again, it's the number of meetings that we plan times the dollar amount.
Gotcha.
And some
Okay.
meetings we cancel, but we add some, so it's in the ballpark, I'd say.
It was $300 a meeting, I believe, wasn't it?
It's going
Yeah,
to
or
350.
Or before when, what's his name used to do it, he was like 250.
Al.
Al, yeah. He was 250, and then these guys are these guys are going up to 350 now.
That's all, thank you, Mayor.
okay. Anything else under city council budget? And we will move on to administrative department budget, hard copy, page 4. Let's see, electronic number.
13.
13. Do you want to start with that, Brian?
Yeah, I'm just, my computer shut for 1
No problem.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, we can run through the discretionary items. Alderman Legansky did ask me about the salaries in this budget that looked to jump from the 25 actual into the 28 budget, then to what it is now for the estimated actual next year. And again, there was a change of some positions there that accounted for that increase, which is, larger than normal. Julie's promotion, Jessica's hiring, and also our part-time person who does some of the accounting work. So, but that was a specific question.
Yeah, I forgot about the other part-time person, so
Yes.
it all makes sense to me, yeah.
The liability insurance,
Boy,
Yeah.
thank you, Ted.
Thank you. I got that in my notes too.
Yeah, we have, we're a member of IRMA, who's a wonderful intergovernmental group that for all of our property and casualty, and 70 or 75 members in that now, public entities. And in part, your premium every year is based on your loss history, just like your home if you had, or your cars, if you had a car accident, you'll get dinged. We've had a number of claims over the last 5 years, but prior to that, we had some really, really good years. Our premiums were really low. We got a deduction from that, and now we've hit higher loss periods over the years.
Can we point a finger to what caused, I think I held it at 52% increase?
Oh, it's doubling.
It's 100%.
It's actually 100%.
yeah.
It's going up
Yeah, I mean,
to,
Yeah, yeah, Mike.
It's in part loss history, and, we get, every month, we get claims reports, there's been some significant workers' comp. That's the area, I mean, we've had some vehicle accidents, some property damage, but that has not been the majority of our claims. They have been workers'
It's
comp.
based on a 5-year average, and we've had the last 5 years, the 2 years that have, the 1 year that's fallen off, those 2 years, we had like a $4,000 or $5,000 claim, and a $4,000 or $5,000, one of those has fallen off to be replaced by a $300,000 or $400,000. It's basically self-insurance, so you've got to make it up at some point.
No, yeah,
And the bad news is, if you see, he's projecting farther into next year, because we have, the last good year is falling off next year, so unless we
so
have.
this
an
isn't going away.
No,
it's
so
only
unless
gonna
we have an
Right.
Not in the
outstanding.
near future, it wouldn't be going away.
So you got an extra 300 grand a year. I mean, that's a big nut.
Well,
Everyone.
again,
That's a lot of money that,
I have found insurance.
It's not going
and-
away.
and premiums are cyclical, they're up and down, we don't run bad claims forever, we've had a number, really, for many years, we had really good numbers, and we just have that time where we have a number of claims, and some of them have been costly. Now, I think we've talked before, as part of IRMA, we have also a pot of money there that is in the audit. However, every year when these increases, I've talked to Mike, and we've decided to leave that larger amount with IRMA because our interest is much better than we can earn. So, I mean, we have that to offset, but we've let it sit there.
Yeah, there's approximately $2 million sitting in reserves. Last year, I don't know if you remember, when the auditors did the audit, they had a prior period adjustment for about $1 million. They brought that into our balance sheet, so that was the cause of that.
there was a prior period adjustment a couple years ago, right? You're saying?
That was, yeah, last year they brought that in, now they have to account for that. So it is reflected in our balance sheet, but we have about $2 million sitting there. The good news is they outperform anything that I'm allowed to do. Basically, I'm investing with CDs, money markets, so we're getting 3-4% on our money. With them, last year, they earned over 14% on the amounts we have on deposit with them. So in my mind, it's a no-brainer leaving it with them. That gives us a little more flexibility to invest. No guarantee it's gonna be 14% a year, but it should be better than the 3 or 4% that we're getting right now. So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with leaving it. I just think we have to find some expenses somewhere to offset that, because it's not going away. And that's a big number in my.
I mean, universally, I think everyone's seen their homeowners insurance go up, and I know our company, our family business, our workman's comp just because of 2 claims out of like 60 employees, went
You
up
have one claim,
83%.
that's kicks it up. Yeah.
Huge, huge. And you got, you know,
And
your
it's based on
auto, your,
experience, and again, that's tracking a 3 to 5 year
oh, yeah.
history.
Is this in addition to workers' comp? Does the city have workers' comp or is that a
This
business?
is our whole property and casualty program, so general lawsuits, workers' comp, auto,
Okay.
all of the comprehensive insurance, yes, everything's
Okay.
there.
Is any of this because of the intergovernmental agreements with the Park District for liability with the, this is,
No,
none of that's in here?
no.
So this is a reflection of claims that have happened over the last couple of years.
Well, over 5.
Five.
Yeah, they do a 5-year look back, and when the new year comes, we get rid of
Is
the
this
old
like
year.
lawsuits or is it workers' comp type claim?
Yeah, employee injuries, some type. I mean, you know, we have had some that resulted in surgery. Some people are out for a while. Maybe we can't bring them on light duty.
And I don't recall how many cities are involved in it, but, I mean, there's maybe, what, 40, 50,
I think it's probably up to 75.
75?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're basically self-insuring. It's our group, so
Yeah.
it's not like we're going out to Allstate or State
Right,
Farm or
right.
anything like that, and we're
Is
subject.
this all employees, even police as well,
Yes.
included in here?
In fact, that's where some of the work.
And our elected officials for, you know, professional liability, things like that is also covered, yeah.
And director and officer liability, yeah, that's part of it.
Everything's in
Everything.
Yeah, as Lisa just mentioned too, we'll see the same corresponding number in water, because water pays for some of that insurance also.
Do any of the insurance companies give kind of incentive for like training, like OSHA training, you know, for safety? So to prevent the falls and stuff, so you can save on insurance costs or?
Irma has small, like annual awards. They might give you a grant for something pretty minor, but they do host a lot of training. Public Works goes, police would go. They inspect the premises, look at our policies, so they do that periodically. And, you know, I wouldn't want to get into any of the specific claims here tonight, but I'd be happy to talk to anybody, you know, outside of the meeting here about any specific claims, or if you wanted to look at more of the loss history to get a better idea of what some claims are actually costing.
Thank you.
Any more discussion on liability insurance?
Your daughter called you last too.
It wasn't her. Probably somebody in Medicare. I bet
We
it's
can
somebody
keep,
who's having Medicare calls.
moving down the page 5. Anything else on page 5? Legal, maintenance, equipment, vehicles, postage, mailings, printing forms. Okay, move on to page 6, public relations. This is where the Citizen of the Year and the newsletter.
Yeah, I mean, again, we put those in under discretion, even though those are programs the city's had for a number of years now, but we do put those to the side. Again, sometimes the items we move to maintenance or discretionary, it's not an exact science. We try to, or I try to see if the council's approved things for a number of years, but also the thought of those are really discretionary. It's not our core expenses, it's not gas for the cars, it's not salaries. You know, it's not a number of things, but I think the council every year has been favorable in all of those things.
Thank you. Anything else in that area? Okay, moving on, rent, supplies. And then we already, the travel, we talked about it in, obviously in the city council version, but then there's training and education and travel and meetings for admin.
Mayor, can I just go back one, my stuff got, you know, messed up here today. Consulting professional services, if you back up on the one page.
Okay,
We started out in 25 actual, $428,000, and it's all the way up requested for $518,000. So we're talking about AMRF, you know, a big, you know, jump. Obviously, that's not as big of a jump as that, but what do we know about the reason that these things have come up, you know, pretty significantly? Do we know?
where exactly are you at?
Contractual services, I'm on.
You're gonna get into the detail on it, on the bottom of that. We're
Right.
just getting to it, a telephone.
I thought we skipped over, did we skip over it? Never mind.
There you go. But you're looking at the main,
Yeah, you're below where we're at. We're still in operating costs. Okay. Okay, anything else in operating costs? Okay, then we will go ahead and go down to the next category, which is contractual services.
I'm sorry, Mary.
Are you sorry? Okay.
You didn't do anything on telephone. This is an area I think we could pick up something. We've been budgeting about 43.5 through the beginning of February. We're only at about $19,000 in there. It just seems like historically we've run about $10,000 under that.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that also, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Throw it toward liability insurance. for you.
right.
Hey, it all helps.
Especially if we've tracked,
It's not going away.
yeah, okay.
Sorry.
No problem. That's a good point. So they'll review the estimates on that for the budget. Moving on to contractual services. Obviously, we have the audit, and then under that, consulting professional services. Alderman Kenny?
Yep. So we're at 428,025, and then we've kind of jumped up just under $100,000 over the 2 years. So how does that go about? You got contracts that go up that much?
Yeah, one of the things I don't have here, Alderman, is my current budget book, so I would
Okay.
have to look at those. Lisa, do you know what the computers, I don't recall the increase there.
Yeah, the computers, there's a cost in there that you'll see in the backup. Outlook is no longer gonna be supported, and they're looking at Office 365.
It's
So
under
the
here.
cost of that is
Yep.
about 50,000.
Got it.
And it's an annual 26,000 thereafter.
Yeah, that went from
So that's-
65,000 last year, about 135,000 this year with
Is
that.
our computers going to be able to support what they're gonna roll out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on a 3-year
No, you're fine.
rotation, 3 to 4 year rotation.
For computers.
Updates.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I missed that, sorry.
And then what's the CJIS software maintenance?
That's for the police department that sieges.
It's
They
police?
have to, yeah.
I mean, I'd like to bring up the recycle event, the electronic recycle event. I mean, I think we looked at this in admin finance, and I think the usage has come down a little bit. In
Yeah,
terms of-
last budget year, we talked, because we had it a couple years in a row, we talked about maybe every other year. So again, it's here if the council wants to offer it.
We did not have it now.
Yeah,
We did not have it this year.
Correct, not this year, correct.
I mean, I'd vote to take it out again, just to offset some of this liability insurance.
Yeah, I don't have a record of, but we are getting several calls asking about it for whatever input that is. I don't have that number as a specific.
And if I remember correctly, the way LRS conducted it was they mailed everybody a postcard and you had to opt into it. It wasn't like how when
Schedule, correct, yes.
it wasn't how like when the Rotary Club has done it here, where like you bring things to it. They will pick it up at your home, but you have to let them know to pick it up at your home.
Yeah, and again, some of that is convenience. I don't know, other than, where residents would still have options to drop things off if it's printers, maybe smaller monitors. But it is hopefully an incentive for people to get rid of things. That was the original intent of it.
It was 6 items.
Yeah, I know Burr Ridge has like a permanent at their public works drop-off place.
That's where I go.
Yeah,
Typically, they're like
They
things
don't
like
take-
TVs,
They don't
right?
take, you have to pay
have
for
to pay.
TVs
There's
and
some
the
fees for
monitors,
Yes,
yeah.
Again, we.
And I got yelled at for dropping off a
we are
printer
Putting in this year only
in the
based on
past.
the discussion last year, so it's 100% council policy.
If they had an event, instead of doing it through their system, would it be a different price, do you know? If LRS had an event at City Hall one day and people brought it in, more like what other,
The drop off, we have never talked to them, but
That's a good idea.
it should be significantly less, I would think, but we would have
right,
to
because it
check.
wouldn't be,
We did that, 6 years ago?
Yeah, we did that once, I know.
and the environmental committee used to do it, yeah.
Yeah, it went over like a boom.
And then after
we had to-
environmental
we had to get a
committee
second
stopped it, the
dumpster,
Rotary
right?
Club did it a bunch of times.
Third dumpster?
But not
Okay.
for electronics.
Oh, it wasn't electronics, okay, you're right, okay.
But maybe this year
if we could look into seeing what they would charge to run one of those events, that might make more sense.
Yeah.
Save a few thousand.
So will she look into a drop off?
Yeah, what they would charge, what the price difference between having them
Picking
do
up
it
or-
and
yeah.
having a drop off.
Okay,
The only issue I see is that people on a Saturday.
I'm just gonna make a note.
Yeah, it's more convenient on the weekend, but you know.
Yeah, anytime I've seen electronic recycling events, it's usually on a Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, yeah.
LRS.
Yeah.
And Mike, who charges bank fees? Is that our operating account or what's that on?
Which account is that? She tracks that because we get a credit. Julie, you could explain it better than me.
So, you're asking.
Bank fees, $8,500.
So that's all of the bank fees for us accepting ACH payments. Basically, it's all through Republic Bank.
So mostly merchant services and everything.
Merchant services, yeah, every time we take a check, there's a small charge. Anytime we do an ACH, there's a charge, so it's about $400 to $500 a month
And
generally.
we used to net that against the interest or something, didn't we?
They
And now we
did, so-
started breaking it out to have a better reflection of it.
Any way to negotiate any of that, or you're kinda?
I did, because they were
Okay.
more at around 1,200, so I did a month, so I did speak with them and they got it down to be.
To this,
it's-
okay.
I think it's right around 450.
I mean, that's something you can always try to beat them up on, so you have ready.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So just to go back to LRS, electronic recycling, you're gonna explore the possibility of a one-day event?
Yes.
And see what that will be. So this is something we'll come back to?
Yes.
Okay, is that good with you, Alderman Legansky? Okay, so we'll come back to that. Hopefully, we can get that information before next week. Okay, wonderful. Anything else under consulting and professional services?
We do have in there to update the city videos. Several years ago, we made a couple videos. One was geared towards residential, one was geared towards like the business community. And as part of the strategic plan, we had said in there that we would update those videos. And the timeframe would be the next fiscal year. But again, that's discretionary for the council.
How old are those now?
They're like 6 years old, aren't
Probably
they?
six.
This was almost 7 years old. We did it
you
in
mean
my
that it's
first or
time.
second year.
Can I make a suggestion? Do we really need 2 videos? I mean, I just feel like, cause there was a little bit of repetition. I feel like one video could really give enough information for a resident or a business. You know, pumping up Darien, why Darien is a nice place to live, what it has to offer. I just don't think you need both.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
have
my
not looked at those two, Mayor, for a while to compare, but I know with the business, it was really geared, if a business was coming
Yeah, I know like
specific-
Chuck was, I mean, I was like, definitely people were.
Yeah, we would, I mean, if the council would rather have one, we would have to produce it to where it applies to both, and it's attractive to both.
Just suggest,
Yeah, I
just
mean,
something
we did
entertaining.
not have 30 businesses watch the video and come in, you know, to locate Darien, so it's obviously
Right.
very nice, but
I just think I think a one hype video that is hyping Darien for, you know,
Yeah.
whether you want to come have a vacation here, please do. Or, you know, move here or open a business here. I just think one hype video would be, you know, but I'm not, talk to the communications experts. I'm kind of an amateur communications person.
is that a change and we should make, well,
I'm just making a
I
suggestion.
think it's a good
Yeah,
suggestion.
yeah, I mean, it's,
just would like
we're not,
to
it's
hear
not a
from
huge
everybody.
amount of money, but it could save us a couple $1,000s, and I think it would, you know, be more uniform.
How long are the, I'm sorry, how long are the videos right now approximately?
Like 3 minutes?
Yeah, they're fairly short.
Are those on the website? Is that where you
Yes.
find those?
Yeah.
Send those out to
We were trying to attract a business to Darien in the Just on Court Shopping Center. And part of our process in doing that is we sent them the business one. So we have used that other than just leaving it on the website. But they are outdated. The people, not that the people in them are outdated, but some of the stuff in there is outdated.
Mary, Brian, can you see how many times it gets hit, you know, on the site? I mean, so is one getting more hit than the other, and how many are we even getting? Are people even utilizing it? I mean, if it's not getting a lot of hits, then maybe,
Well, to go back to one video for the
I
whole
think this
thing.
one video is all.
Because wouldn't the businesses find value in it knowing the residential component of the town too, if they're
I
putting their
would
business
think.
in,
but-
They're their customers.
right?
I would
Yeah.
think, yeah.
I like the idea of keeping both, of having a new one for each. I see a value, especially with some of the things we're looking at. If you look further down, our strategic plan for 28 has attracting new residents to the city of Darien. You know, we're pushing in a direction now where we're trying to attract businesses and residents and especially businesses, and having a video that we could utilize more often, I think is a big plus for us. I'd like to keep it in there.
And we don't, it is very reactive now. We could certainly use that video again and be more proactive like we did with Chestnut Court, sure.
All right.
I'm not asking you to cut it in half, I'm just making a suggestion.
No, I'm just trying to get input so we.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything else to add about the videos?
The mayor is saying that doing two separate ones are a bigger attraction. I think we should keep two then, because it sounds like you've gotten some pretty good hits out of it or responses. So
That we'll have to, we'll have to check the hits as.
Look at the numbers, let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just see what kind of traction it gets and go from there.
Moving down to contingency. I don't think that's anything. Then janitorial services on the next page, page 7. Building improvements and equipment. Anything else on the administrative department budget? Takeaways are, would love to do something about our liability insurance, the LRS recycle event, and there'll be more internal staff discussion about the videos. Okay.
Possible phone reduction on 10.
Oh, the foam reduction, thank you. I didn't write that on this, but I circled it there.
Good catch.
And it was 10, 4, 2, 6, 7. Okay, let me just highlight that real quick. I wrote it in pen and I didn't. Okay, great. Every little bit helps. Okay, so I believe the next we're gonna go on to is Community Development Department?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that is page 80? Jerry, do you know what?
Yes, it's hard copy 81, online 89.
The summary page is page 80. The overview page,
Right, I'm sorry,
spreadsheet,
yeah,
yeah, the
details,
summary goes
page
into,
81,
yeah.
yeah.
So, okay, great. Dan, you wanna take over there?
Sure, I'd love to. And I'm sorry, Jerry, what was electronically you said, 80?
No,
88, I'm sorry.
Oh, 88 for the recap, 89 starts the detail. I actually wrote them on mine, so I wouldn't be scrolling through it all the time.
First time I
we'll do
don't
that
bring
next year,
paper.
that's a
Yeah,
good idea.
First time I don't bring paper, and sure enough, paper was golden today.
Well, just when you have to start scrolling, it's like, where do you find it?
Yeah,
you know,
especially
so-
since we're going out of order, because
Right.
there's other budgets ahead of that, so.
You could type the number up on top, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But I didn't know I said, yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm just,
Thank you.
welcome.
Okay.
Not bad for bully, huh?
Not at all. Thank you. I'm still old fashioned. I write everything down.
Thank you, Dan.
Sure, from our perspective, the community development FYE 26, the estimated actual you'll see is 1.294, basically. Running on schedule or a little bit above schedule due to some revenues from the building department themselves. So again, the building department, while they have revenues from the permits, permit fees, there is an offset on those for some of the consultation, for the inspections and third-party services of that sort. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this page 88 for now. If there's any specific questions, we could jump into the actual details if you'd like.
Sure. Sounds good to me. Yeah.
Go for it.
With that said, I think, let's, Mary, please let me know if you want me to go through every line item, or if you want, if the committee would like to basically go through the line items and just question any line items that may be out of sync.
when you get down to 4240, let me know.
So why don't we start with the first summary page, that includes salaries, benefits, and operating. Let's start from the top, and if there's anyone have any questions, raise your hand and Dan will hit it for you.
Why didn't your liability insurance go up?
We did talk about the insurance, but also you'll see through the departments, just again, like your homeowners or your car, we do have deductibles, so if there's a vehicle accident, it's a $2,500 deductible, and Irma's very aggressive at subrogation. We'll get a lot of that back, but, so you will see deductibles throughout the budget.
Anything under operating costs?
If we go to, under the economic development, 350 is, standard for Walmart. I'm assuming Home Depot's dropped off then? Is that the story?
This was the last year, I believe it was, or last year was the last year for Home Depot, yes.
We made the last payment. That's not saying they may not come back.
That's the next question. Have you heard anything, or?
Nothing.
No,
Keep it
Done. We
quiet
don't wanna
because
talk about it. No,
we're on
we have
video.
nothing.
Thanks, Michael, yeah.
no, I think there's some new excitement that's gonna be happening there that's gonna really, entail them to, stay.
Okay.
If I could just back up on 204213, you may notice some increases there. And again, they're not really increases. What it boils down to, I beat you to the punch, huh, Jerry?
A little bit, thank you.
But in respect to that, what we've done is taken all dues, subscriptions, licensing, and put them into one category versus them being in separate budgets. So this way, it's one clear platform now, and especially, over the last several years, we have all this licensing, whether it's Laserfish, whether it's OpenGov, whether it's permitting software, licensing, and things of that sort. So here it is. This is the grand ballpark right here.
The bidding, the building code enforcement, I know it hasn't really taken off the way we thought with residents using it, correct?
I wouldn't say that, no. It's been working out rather well.
It's getting there, because I remember early on, we had conversations that people were reluctant to sometimes do it because they have to leave their name or their email address. So are people starting to use it now?
Yes, a lot of general contractors are using it, so majority of our permits are general contractors. Whereas there is some, there's.
Not on the permits, on the
Code
code
enforcement.
violations.
Code enforcement, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
It's a combination of, we're getting them through the work order system, and some are calls. Again, with the calls, it's very de minimis at best. I mean, if there's an issue out there, it's an issue and people will put it out there. And we're still trying to circumvent, what's the opportunities of making it anonymous. We do have some capabilities and it's not refined yet, to your point.
When someone calls, or if it's reported through an alderperson, does it then get input in the?
Yes, what we'll do is we'll.
Because I know that's a way of, I figured it was, I'm asking it because I know the answer already, but because then it gets tracked, because
Correct.
from the historical part, because that was
Correct.
kind of a disconnect before.
Yes.
I just know residents have been reluctant to do it themselves. They're like, no, Jerry, you do it. You know what I mean?
fine.
They don't want to be
And
on.
then if they
don't
email
wanna be
you,
the-
technically that's, their name's out there too.
That's exactly it. A lot of residents are not familiar with the FOIA, whatever is submitted to us electronically has the ability to be FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, that is for those that are watching. So we are obligated to give that information to the source that's requesting it.
Is that okay? Great explanation. Anything else? So that explains, you've put it all together. And it's a good way of tracking it too, because then you don't lose track of, like when,
Not in all-
like us,
5 different places.
average folk, do I have a subscription to this online or this magazine or this service?
Yeah, it's like your whole account. Next thing you know, you got Apple Pay here and you got Discover here or American Express, whatever, so at least.
Consolidating it.
Yes.
Great. Anything else on the first page of the Community Development Department Budget Summary, page 81, hard copy? Okay, moving on to the next one.
If I could just back up for
Okay,
a minute on the
absolutely.
adjudication, as we all know, adjudication was recently started this year,
I was
so.
gonna ask, I got it highlighted. How's it going?
Boy, I'm beating you in all the questions here. I don't have the final numbers yet, but my goal is to have a full year. And obviously, there's some fines, and fines are now being collected 100% versus, and Julie, correct me if I'm wrong, when we were going to DuPage County,
To the court.
it was anywhere from 3% up to 12%, if I'm not mistaken.
It has to help us.
It does. Again, I don't wanna be conservative.
Good.
And I wanna make sure, we're not out, again, like I said before, pounding the ground for fines. Our goal is for compliance and not bring people in
So instead
here.
of going through Wheaton, you're doing it here.
Yes, yes. That's all I have for that, just feedback.
Well, that was on the next page anyways, that,
That's why you jumped
yeah,
ahead,
Yeah, I was just like, okay. Because I'm like, where did that go?
Yeah, it's in,
Okay, so that was, is there anything above, on the next page, above contractual services or below contractual services? Consulting, anything like that? Okay, Dan, anything else on,
We just have one, basically for Laserfish for the clerk's office, so, if there's any questions, it's basically a carryover. We're hoping we have the opportunity to get into the rest of the files upstairs to be able to, either A, determine whether or not they need to be scanned and/or, put into I'll call it a recycling bin for disposal. So I'm not sure if Joanne, if you, wanna expound on anything on that, because they're all locked. All the cabinetry is locked and we don't have the opportunity to get in there.
And as far as scanning the documents, we go into those files maybe once or twice a year for request. And with the cost that it would be to scan and the amount of time that we spend searching the file for it, is that beneficial?
Well, the question is the files that are in there, number one, they need to be inventoried first and foremost. Whether they need to be scanned or disposed of, they may already be duplicates of previous documents. In other words, we did a lot of resolutions already, we did a lot of ordinances, and some of the stuff is basically probably outdated, if needed at all. So we have no inventory.
You're chasing good money after good. That's how I look at it. If you're gonna clean it up and get it under microfiche and not have to worry about it in the future, why not?
Correct, so that again, that was the carryover, but I just wanted to get some feedback from the clerk at the same time. So we need to basically inventory it at a bare minimal.
What's the difference between Laserfish, and forgive me if I'm ignorant, and, using cloud services? And would there be a cost benefit for putting stuff up in the cloud, and would it be easier for us to, obtain that data?
If we have a data management employee, the answer would be yes. And again, there's software updates to Laserfish, there's constant updating to Laserfish. And Julie, I know she was a great asset on Laserfish as well, so I'd love to, ask Julie for some additional input on that question, if that's okay.
By all means.
Specifically, what are you asking about with the?
So Laserfish, it's pretty much the data is hard data.
Right, what you're asking-
That's stored with our campus.
No,
No.
it's stored in the cloud somewhere.
No, that's what I'm asking.
It is a
Okay.
cloud
'Cause
item,
that-
so it's not taking up all the space on our drives.
Okay, because I've always remembered Laserfish being something totally different. That's why I started, you prefaced by, I might.
And microfiche, remember those?
Microfiche.
old
Yeah.
microfiche?
That was-
Even the
That's what-
microfiche files.
That's what I was thinking.
Where you're going across.
Forgive me, that's exactly
Yep.
right, that's exactly what I thought, thank you.
Because those microfiche, some of them are not legible
Laser.
anymore, to be honest
right
with you.
next to the
They're
Victrola.
crumbling.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm sorry.
All right, so we answered the question, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm an idiot, thanks.
That's
great.
Do we still have the microfiche on those Pintos that we used to own? No, maybe not.
so is this the last, component in city operations to be digitized? Or to be-
Correct, yeah, it's still in the budget this year. Again, if there's an opportunity where we can have, access to the file drawers and inventory, there's an opportunity that we could have it done prior to May 1st, but again, I don't wanna get all the inventory and then TKB, who's got the current contract, for them to say, hey, it's gonna take a little longer to May. So at worst, it's a carryover is what it is, and it's, the amount may be reduced, but we don't know until there's a physical inventory and see if there's any duplication, so that's one thing we need to actually move on.
And the original plan was to include all that.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
nothing new, it's just, we haven't.
Just did not have the access,
And if we
or
end up,
readily
So
accessible.
what does it take to get the access?
I have
Joanna
the
unlocking
keys.
the files, giving us
Okay.
the keys.
Keys to the files.
Okay.
Because my files were walking, and that's why we lock our cabinets. Because we didn't know who had taken the files out of the cabinets.
Dan.
So can we get this all worked out?
Did you take the?
Sure, if we take if
My
Julie
responsibility
Julie
is
could
to
be
keep
assigned the
records,
keys.
so-
Yeah.
Julie could be assigned the keys and, again, I think the accountant's the safest, person on staff. There you go, Julie. But I know Julie oversees certain things with the administrative, so, we would task Jessica on there again with, inventory and, kind of move it and either get rid of file cabinets and make room.
Dan, every other file you've scanned and taken, there's not been any problems.
No, and we've
It's
even.
actually been helpful because we can purge some of the documents. All you need to do is look at the City Hall office area, how it was just a short time
Yeah,
ago.
those of you that recall.
Yeah, the clutter is a lot, much better.
And again, back here, what you see now is somewhat due to the flood. So as soon as these guys are done here with that portion of it, we're gonna go back in here and everything is labeled, what needs to be basically, not scanned, what's the word? Destroyed, and it's destroyed through a shredder. So a lot of things have been submitted to the state, a lot of things are just waiting for the state to comply to tell us, yes, you can destroy this. The shredder will be, and the shredder is already budgeted, and that's de minimis.
How much faster it is to find this stuff on his own computer? Come on.
I mean, from my opinion, it's,
That's the no-brainer right there.
It is.
It
I will
is.
say, I was a little hesitant at first in how we would really use it
Yeah.
and how quick it would be. And, I've asked mostly Julie for documents that normally we would have to go in the basement. If they're here like in 10 seconds, she could retrieve them.
There you go.
Very helpful.
So Dan, once we inventory it, you'll have a better idea of what we're actually gonna
yes,
spend.
yes.
Good.
Okay.
And of course, the clerk will be able to go through it, with Jessica and or the list and make further determinations and recommendations.
Okay, great. Any other questions on the Community Development Department budget? Okay, great. Why don't we take a 5-minute break and grab a snack, go to the bathroom, and then we'll get right into streets. Is that okay?
Streets?
Right, streets before capital? Dan,
I'm
Brian?
fine, whatever you'd like to do,
Streets,
yeah.
yeah, that
Streets
should,
before
streets should
capital.
go first, yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay. Okay. Keep looking for Brian. He's right in
Yeah.
front of me next to Lisa. It's like really confusing. I'm easily confused. Okay, so we're gonna start right into the streets department. Dan Godbeck.
I'm just gonna give you a quick recap here. Obviously, the budget for FY '26 was, 930,000, and excuse me, what's 4.179. And the actual that we're looking at coming in is 3.49. So with that savings, obviously the generators were the maintenance on the buildings. That was one of the factors that there was some reduction. In conjunction, there will be some carryover on that as well. And the equipment came in slightly under 2, so there's some bragging right there, if you want to say, to some of the opportunities that we had more or less benefited over the course of the year.
Just out of curiosity, on street sweeping, you budgeted 49.7, we're coming in at 44. Is that accurate with that early snowstorm that we got? No.
Well, what we're coming in at is basically, the answer to your question is no. But do I still plan on coming in at that number? Yes, with some additional sweeps that are being scheduled,
Cool.
so we can circumvent some of the concerns.
Gotcha, nice, okay.
Excellent.
With that said, I'd be more than happy to start the line items.
Yeah, we'll start on page 116, the summary page.
Can I talk about this
Absolutely.
page just a little bit? Just
So
on-
you wanna start you wanna do the overview page?
Yes.
Okay.
please. 'Cause
Mike,
I'm just comparing some of the numbers in here to our year-to-date numbers that I have, that Julie gave me like through February 1st anyway. A couple of the items, consulting professional services, budgeting 55,000 estimated actual versus 45 budgeted. Consulting professional services, we're only at about $9,000 at February 1st, so we still have a bunch to come in on that.
Sorry, Mike, let me get to that for a moment. So consulting, professional services.
Count 4325.
Subtraction.
So they're still predicting that for fiscal year 26, we'll be at 55.
Right.
And you're saying as of February,
We're at 9.
we're at 9. Wow, okay.
On things like that, if we could make a note and check, so that'll probably help.
That's fine.
I need to
I'll
go
just-
back into the budget book and see.
Because I've got a couple more of those, so
Yeah,
whatever.
okay, so 504325, we'll do an overall audit on it.
The next one I have is forestry, account 4350, projecting that at 373. We're at 264 through February 1st. Not a big difference, but it's 100 grand.
That 100 grand should be due to the grant that's gonna be coming in, from a revenue side, but we have not. Let me double check that, Mike, because I'm.
No, the 100 grand already got reflected in here. I think Julie didn't, it get reflected in the first February
For.
for the, you're talking about
Grant on
the
the
Arboretum?
Forestry,
You're talking about the Arboretum.
You haven't
Yes.
received that money.
yeah, we haven't received that money yet,
No,
so.
but this is the expense side of it.
Correct, that's why I'm
The
just,
expense came in this month.
The expense is in the amount that I'm reflecting. That's what I'm saying. The expense
Right.
is reflected in the 273.
yeah, there's still a explanation of why.
Why we have another 100 to go.
Nick, I'm sorry, that you mentioned.
We're at 264.
The budget's 373.
Budget, you're coming in at 373, so I'm wondering, we have another 100 grand in the next couple of months.
Well, we
You
got.
know what,
Yeah,
that's
we'll
what,
check it.
actually what it was, is that when the grant came in, it wasn't budgeted for, so,
Okay.
that's why.
Okay, and the last one is drainage projects, but forecasted at 95, which is good. That's coming in under, but we're only at 31 through early February.
That's it, that's all we plan on spending.
31.
The reason for that is, we had some inventory, the inventory didn't work out. So the projects didn't go through, and in addition to that, never mind the other ones in capital in
No,
this regard.
but you're projecting 95 versus the 31 that we're at currently.
We'll look to lower that, Mike, if it's.
Yes, we weren't sure yet, so I was hoping that 2 projects were gonna go, and they were gonna go in April yet, but
Okay.
they fell through.
That's all I have on the cover sheet.
Okay. So it sounds like we'll have some savings or added income.
Little bragging rights, Mike? All right, thank you.
Okay,
It's called the
so,
difficulty.
so then we'll go into the summary pages. We'll start with 116. Dan, if you want to,
Go ahead.
Start with 40, I'm
is there
sorry.
anything you want to highlight on the first, which is salaries, benefits, operating?
No, I'd rather do the same procedure like we just did, and then if
Okay.
there's something that I see, again, I think the only thing, dues and subscriptions, again, to everybody's point, they've been synced with the department and what it's for.
Hepatitis shots are up to $2,000 now? Really?
That's for the entire department, and again, the hepatitis shots, we don't know yet for sure whether or not Irma is gonna be mandating due to the safety concerns of really what it is, guys crawling into
Right,
manholes.
you gotta get them done. I'm just surprised by that, you know?
Yes, and it's a series of shots from what I understand.
Oh, okay, so this is one, okay, gotcha.
If we can back up way to salaries for our summer help. Last year we had 10 we were projecting and we budgeted $10,000. This year we're projecting 6 and budgeting 25,000.
Actually, it's still 10 split between the departments, and I know Brian and I worked through all that. Brian, you wanna?
Yeah, I'll have to look at those numbers, Mike. I think what happened last year is we were light on the salaries because we weren't able to hire any summer kids, so we had to give a bit more of an increase. So I just need to check those numbers and make sure they're,
Because there's another 30 in the MFT for seasonal.
yeah.
Correct.
So we have 55,000 budgeted for seasonal, basically.
That is correct. Now, just so you understand, the reason that we have seasonal help in MFT is because the work, I've calculated that it takes about $30,000.
I don't have a problem with spreading it. It's just the amount is a lot higher this year than it was last year.
That is correct, and that's what Brian was gonna address here.
That's fine.
And then Dan, I'm looking at salaries, I mean, and I'm looking back a couple years, but we had a big jump from 24 to 25 in salaries, and the overtime came down like I thought it should. Okay, because we put on some positions, and now it just seems that we're, even though we've got the salaries up, it just seems our overtime's creeping back up again.
Well, actually, through February, the overtime, we've got 103 budgeted.
Yep.
And I think is that what he's projecting coming in at?
88.
88, and at the first part of February, it's only running 23. So it does seem to be running.
Oh,
low
good.
As of February 1st, anyway. So not saying we can't have more snowstorms and stuff.
Right, and that was compensated for with an average of 23 storms, 23 events
Okay.
that we should get,
But it does seem to be running lower than.
Then what, okay, I'm fine, thank you.
Maybe people can, instead of plowing the streets, help wash the mud off people's cars.
I know, and all the.
Crazy, the mud
Yeah.
storm? Any more questions on salaries?
Yeah, I guess on the medical life insurance, that last year we budgeted 176, this year's down to 153. Yeah, PD is up and this one is down. Just seems like they should all be
Well,
up.
Mike, PD, we looked at a full complement of employees, because we've been down, on our numbers. And in the chief's budget, he can go over, but he's looking at insurance for more employees that maybe were on single to family
Yeah, and this year is down about 20,000, is what I'm saying.
for the
For
police.
streets?
No, for streets.
Oh, for streets.
There, I think we had budgeted initially because these people were allowed to get family insurance or they were,
Okay, if you
anticipating to
look at
have
it,
insurance and
I'm
they're still
comfortable
either on
with
their
that,
parents
okay.
or they're taking single.
It just seemed inconsistent, so I just wanted to make sure it was analyzed. Okay. Okay. I'm done.
Okay. Any other questions on salaries, benefits, operating? Okay, we'll move on to the next page, maintenance, building.
Just from my point, one of the things is to carry over with the generators, we're starting to work on them, so I anticipate that It'll be completed sometime in June, July, so that's why there's some carryover to that.
My question is about the generator, because it does show carryover. Last year showed 50,000, this year shows carryover, but it's changed to 95,000.
The carryover from last year, 50,
Well, last year said City Hall generator, 50,000. This year's 95,000. Is showing as a carryover.
I'd have to double check, yeah, I'm not sure why. Yeah, I'd have to double check that.
And then Dan, on the 20,000 for tuck pointing study, what's a study? I mean, you say you just do it, or, I mean, what is
Well,
it?
Brian and I talked about this, we need a professional to come in here and tell us, what's going on with the mortar. Is it or isn't it? It's a lot of money. So
Yeah, what's the
it's
preliminary?
for the proposal, for the work to be done, it's a lot of money.
So is the 20,000,
20,000 is for somebody to tell us.
no, it's not gonna be just for a study. The 20,000 would be to do the work.
Study.
Just a study?
So Dan, what was the estimate?
I believe the estimate for the tuck pointing was over 140,000,
To say, yeah.
150,000. So, we're gonna try to do it systematically by having trades come in here and see what the trades say, see if we can get some type of median from 3-4 trades to tell us, okay, you do need tuck pointing, or whatever the case is, and see what the real costs are. I'm just a little skeptical on,
I mean, you need a study to do that? I mean, I would just call in a bunch of
I
vendors.
call it a study / professional, somebody that deals with masonry.
Dan, I think the number you just gave though, that was probably City Hall. City Hall and Police, I thought was a lot more.
Correct, that's was for the PD only, I think it was
I
140.
mean, so what's unique about our tuck pointing? We need to have a study. I don't wanna be it doesn't make any sense to me.
That's a consultant.
Right, we had somebody looking at the roof. That person also contracts for tuck pointing. Told Dan we need some, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan. Told me we need some tuck pointing to the tune of probably $500,000. So if we need tuck pointing, we just thought we better have, because of the expensive project that could potentially be, we better have somebody tell us if we really do need that or not. Because if you call in contractors to look at the tuck pointing, they're not independent.
When was the last time we had it done?
It was never.
It's never been done.
Never been done.
No, and again, what's the severity of it, number one, and the specification on the tuck pointing, well, me as a homeowner would say, oh, that's easy, just scrape out some of the mortar and fill it in. What is the proper way to do it? Is it a 1/4 inch thick? Do you need to grind it out? So on and so forth. So if we're gonna do something, I wanna make sure that it's done correctly and under some type of standards. So with this is just basically calling in when I say study, a consultant that deals with nothing but mortar, for example, brick, just like a concrete consultant that deals with nothing but flat work.
So
don't
what are we
have
gonna
a-
learn though?
We don't
Sorry?
have a proposal.
We really need to do it and the
Yeah.
severity of it and what needs to be done.
We don't have anybody on staff that can say, hey, this thing needs, it's painting, what kind of paint do you put on a wall? So there's, what kind of tuck pointing do you need to have done? What is the standard?
Because your feeling is that by bringing in people to bid on it, you don't know what they're gonna actually be bidding on, because it might not be a complete, or that contractors might just say, well, you need it all done because it's a job.
Right, exactly. I wanna make sure I have oranges to oranges and not apples to oranges with and we'll have a price variation from 50,000.
So once he says what you need to do, that's the spec you're gonna give out to the.
Correct.
To the vendors and say, this is what we
Correct.
want you to do, let's see the bids.
Yeah, so it's almost a pre-bid, but based on some type of standards.
And Dan, we don't have a proposal yet, but we thought we put in 20. A proposal might be less for an independent consultant to help us, but that's kind of a placeholder till we can get some proposals, even from a consultant.
Right,
That
there's
could
no,
come
there's
in
no
at least.
backup on the request form here, because
Right.
it's a guesstimate that it's gonna be $20,000.
Right.
Okay.
Are there tuck pointing consultants?
I mean, we're
Masonry
dealing,
consultants?
There's the Concrete Institute of the
Yeah, of America.
Concrete Technology. So there's some sources out there. And while preparing the budget, we had a number, we pulled it out because it was just, in my opinion, astronomical. So if it comes in at that price, I was proven wrong. But I just did not feel at the time with the one proposal, by the time we had additional bids, it was not gonna be apples to apples.
Because the fact is, if you spend 20,000, you get 6 or 7 different bids out of it, and you get the best one, knowing exactly what needs to be done.
Correct.
And it's worth it.
Correct. It's just like the generators, to be honest with you.
I mean, we're talking about a building here that's over 60 years old and a building over there that's over 30 years old.
Correct, correct.
And this building has been painted.
That's part of it too. I don't feel comfortable that we need tuck pointing on this end. On that end, probably. So it's, again, a lot of monies that I can't,
If you tuck point this, you do tuck pointing on this building, then you're gonna have to go back and paint it again.
well, that's exactly it. And do we need that?
Mayor, I'm sorry, one other point.
Yes.
For some of the larger projects like this, before we may have taken it out of streets, but it creates too much of a fluctuation. So a project like this, in the 3-year forecast, we did put in the capital projects budget. And as an example, the number that Dan was looking at, very preliminary, was the City Hall and Police Department at $480,000. So we've plugged that number in fiscal year '28 in the capital projects. So whether or not we come in at that, we'll know sometime this year if that number's good or not for the following year.
Okay. But the study per se is in, streets because that's where the building maintenance
Yeah, that's a
resides.
smaller number. You know,
Okay.
so,
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions on maintenance of the building? Category 4223. Okay. Anything on maintenance equipment? Okay. Moving on to maintenance vehicles, the Vector truck. It's an item there.
That's, I'm sorry, that's just basically a
Yeah.
maintenance.
I just am pointing out because I know
Oh,
there's backup for
okay.
it, so. Questions on any of the maintenance vehicles? Going on to rent equipment, there's backup on a tub grinder.
Again, a tub grinder is something that's, we put it in discretionary every year. And what it is it's a tub grinder that basically takes our chips that we grind from the trees, from a chipping program. And then we basically double grind it, and the double grinding becomes a value to residents, in which case then we basically go and sell it back to sales, through sales from the department. And that basically equates to about $3,500 roughly in sales. Yes, the expense is a little more, but again, it's a benefit that we provide to the residents.
Great. Any more questions on page 117? Okay. Let's move on to 118, supplies other. Questions on category 4257?
I just got a question on barricade rental. We do it every year, it's like, at some point, wouldn't it be cheaper to buy barricades than to rent them every year?
Problem is that we typically
Storage.
don't have enough, and storage, number two. So it's a combination.
I don't know what a barricade costs, but I can't imagine.
We
that
own
it's-
barricades. This is for more barricades.
This we need for this event only.
For the event, yeah, I forgot what the total is, maybe 100 or so, and again, I'm just spitballing that. But it's a massive number of barricades, and for us to house all that, becomes a concern. And you got the battery maintenance on those as well. So it's really, it's cheaper to rent than it is to buy in this case.
They're just dropping the barricades off, right? They're not.
They're dropping them off,
Right.
that is correct.
Okay. Any more questions? Holiday lights, speed limits, signs? Okay. Moving on, small tools, training. Telephone again. Uniforms, utilities, vehicle. Anything there? Okay. Contractual services. Nope. Okay, moving on to the next page, 119, janitorial services. Okay, and then moving on to forestry. We've got backup on fertilization.
In the forestry, and I'm gonna be, I just brought this up to Brian the other day, we just had a recent bid opening, we restructured some of the bids, so I can tell you that we're gonna have a savings of about 15,000, so again, without not boring the committee here with all the separate details, in the upcoming agendas coming up to municipal services, this week, and again, the numbers will be adjusted accordingly, so I'll, submit those to Brian.
It's great news.
What two signs are being replaced now?
I'm sorry,
Two entryway sign replacements,
It's a little further down.
okay.
last slide, 60,000. Which locations are those?
Cass Avenue and 83rd Street.
The Cass Avenue, are we getting insurance?
Wasn't
I'm
that an
sorry,
insurance
Cass
claim?
Avenue coming southbound at
Oh, okay.
67th Street.
Gotcha.
We've tried to, basically what's happened is they're disintegrating.
Yeah, are we changing like the type of material that these things will last longer? or-
Yes, I know we're looking at the aluminum. Basically, it's an aluminum type. We just, from an accident that occurred that we got reimbursed on up on Frontage Road.
Okay, sure.
It looks good. So I'm not sure if anybody's had the opportunity to really look at it or if they've noticed it. Obviously, at 40 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour, whatever the case is, you don't see the degradation on it, nor do you know if it's aluminum or if it's a real brick and mortar.
I mean, I think it looks, I mean, I haven't gotten out and like walked up to it, but having driven by it in like every direction, it looks really good.
That's the general consensus. I look at it, and obviously, when I get out and look at it, I'm seeing something else than the rest of the public is seeing. I'm seeing more detail, and I'm saying, this is fake. But, again, the perception at 30 miles, 40 miles per hour is a different perception altogether. So
These are the aluminum?
that's the aluminum, the one up on Frontage and,
Cass.
Cass.
And so that's what you're thinking, you'll put it Cass southbound? And then where's the second one?
83rd Street, that'd be west of Lamont Road and east of Woodward.
Yeah. that one's
That's the one that just fades.
It's
Correct.
beat up
Oh, yeah,
from both
it's just,
sides.
yeah,
It
yeah.
just, you can't even
You
read
can't
it.
even see it, yeah.
We tried to, do some preventive maintenance on it. We had somebody come in that has the ability to do some painting and
Yeah,
fine
inside the
detail.
grooves.
It worked for
Yeah,
3-4 months, maybe a year.
it was a Band-Aid.
It was, and again, if it would've worked, then we would continue that maintenance, but it's just getting to the point where we tried, doesn't work, we need to move on.
So you think we'll get a longer life out of these then,
Oh,
too?
definitely, definitely. I mean, the one on Lamont Road is also in aluminum. And the reason for that was because those were per IDOT standards to get the permit, that's what we needed to do. So the one on Lamont Road still looks, again, it's almost 50 miles per hour. And once we put the lighting on there, I think it's really gonna just, brighten it up, no pun intended.
Aluminum's not gonna rust, it's just paint, all right? I mean, eventually, whatever.
Yeah, those, again, the longevity is supposed to be close to 50 years. It's been going on, oh gosh, probably close to 20 now. So, we got a good life out of them and minimal investment in the beginning.
Dan, how often do we have to paint the sign out here on City Hall?
I'm working on that one right now as we speak. So what we did is, it's been taken.
Working on another paint job or getting something replaced?
No, we're gonna try to paint first. We're gonna do some, basically, Bondo. I hate to say that, but again,
Are we rehabbing a car or we're doing a?
My 77 Pineapple Mine's all got some extra, just let me have it.
it's a rustic sign, first of all.
So is it because we want the OG feel and it being authentic?
Sort of.
You got the OG feel.
I think like, Brooker Ridge, the airport, they
Yeah.
used to have those and then they updated them and, it just seemed like they're.
See what it looks like, and then, this one should not be a big expense, so again, if there's an expense to it, we'll bring it back to the committee and council, but I don't see this being, we'd still utilize the cornerstones, if you wanna say, cornerstones, could they use some facelift? Again, it's a
Do they need to
cosmetic
be
thing.
tuck pointed?
Water feature? Are you looking for a water feature?
Keep going, let's see, noted, water feature,
I'm sorry, Dan, back up on Forest Street, that fertilization, all that cost this year, how does that compare to what we paid?
that's what I was just referring to. We have a $15,000 savings that will be realized.
15,000 savings?
15,000, yes.
Thank you,
They just had bid openings. That's okay.
thank you.
And I know in here, there's like landscaping for the marquee and stuff, but I've noticed a lot more activity, a lot of new ads and promos on the marquee. It's great.
That was with the city council direction, and, you know, we've been putting more things on there, reaching out to some of the businesses and, you know, hey, get into this. So I think the more that's going on there, the more people are seeing it. Again, the next option is whether or not we want to open it up to outsiders.
Are we getting some payment on some of them?
Yeah, I think it's, what's that one? I don't have the schedule in front of me, but there is some payment. It's been discounted.
I've noticed some regular businesses on there, that's why, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, Zazos is on there, way back Burgers.
Looks
is
great,
on
I mean,
there.
Yeah, Chuck's is on there.
I'd rather see that than, than.
Yeah.
People like the sign. Somebody told me this weekend, they like going past that intersection just so they can read the sign.
that was the ice sculptures, Joe.
Gotta attract some new residents, you're right, get that video going.
And I thought I needed that.
How we could put the new
know it
sign
sounds
on the
strange,
video.
But there are
The
people.
sign wasn't on the video.
When that's the highlight of my day, it's over.
Amen to that.
People who
Amen
love
to
the
that.
frozen waterfall.
I've had a lot of people make comments on the sign, some positive, some negative, but I have not had one person say, I want to try by it just
Just to see it.
Put an ad out there for pickleball or
Okay.
something.
When I heard it, I couldn't believe it.
I tell you, maybe they're sitting on the bench by the clock tower, watching the water features on the one side of the road and the sign on the other. That is a life. I hope they're eating some ice cream or having a cheesesteak
Hey,
sandwich and a
wait till
coffee.
they see the new wall.
Oh, yeah, oh, boy, it'll be
Water
like,
feature.
it'll be like the perfect corner.
Downlighting, yep.
The perfect corner. There we go. Okay, now that we've had a good laugh, thank you. It's always good to laugh.
You don't know about the water feature, where the water's gonna come over the new wall and.
Stop it
even
right
bring it
now.
up.
Don't
Whenever-
even go
whenever
there.
it
Don't even. You're gonna be quoted in something or another, and it's gonna be biting you in
I said
the,
whenever it rains.
yeah, yes. when it rains.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, we'll have weeping stones, Mike. They'll be, next thing you know, people will be
Thank you,
putting a
Mike.
pilgrimage over there.
You can't get weeping stones, they need tuck pointing.
Yeah. We should just put a tuck pointer on staff, you know? I think I know a few retired Irish guys that used to be tuck pointers. They might want to come out of retirement. Okay, anything else on forestry? Okay, let's move on to streetlights, mosquitoes, street sweeping. Oh, Eric, you're missing the street sweeping. I know that's
Actually,
important to you.
On the street sweeping, the one, October 26th and November 16th, is November 16th the last day they do it, basically?
No, it's the last cycle, if you want to say. Now, the cycle, basically, it's just the parameters of when it's supposed to occur.
Okay.
We run into, obviously by Halloween it'd be great, but the trees, for some reason,
They
don't
don't
all
drop
fall at the
until,
same time.
right.
With that said, we'll continue the operation typically up to Thanksgiving. Can we update that date a little more? I mean, you know, this year, it was a phenomenon.
Right.
So, you know, so we've gone as far as December 10th in some cases.
So that's just more of a date for us. for
Right,
that, okay.
that's our target date of when it should be completed. And again, it shifts, where the other ones are very, very predictable. This last one, it's no matter how we do it, we just can't get it right.
Right. No, that's all right.
Something I've been asked, and I've talked to you about it in the past by many residents, many years in a row, is why we don't do the leaf, you know, where everyone puts their leaves in the streets and, you know, a machine comes by and grabs them.
It's a pretty expensive program. I know we had looked at that years ago. I'm not even sure who was on the council then, Jim.
Wasn't it like
There was a
700,000?
vehicle we took a look at, they actually went down the street and sucked them up as it went down the street, but that vehicle was just so expensive just to do that.
Correct.
Decided not
To buy it, you mean to own it?
Buy it.
Wasn't it 700,000 like 10 years ago?
It was no, it was about 300,000 or 400,000 just for the machine, and it was a beautiful truck. It went down the street and it had a big vacuum, and it like went back and forth. And
Right.
not only did the street, it did the parkway.
Combination of, it's almost like a garbage truck, really,
Okay.
at best, and again.
Salaries to do it besides, whereas
Oh, yeah, no,
this,
no,
it's
I'm just
included
saying,
in LRA.
people have expressed a desire, for that. And then there's people that just put their leaves in the street even though they're not supposed to, but I just thought I'd ask it since we were talking about it.
No, and I appreciate that, and this, with the new, with the newer code enforcement officer, one of my goals is during the fall season is to, let's see if we can identify that and work with the residents and again, be a little more proactive on, don't put your leaves out in the, in the roadways.
I think there's an education thing, and I
Yes.
think, if they were to be
Yes.
given a notice, not a violation, but just informed that this is not allowed,
It's gotten
prohibited.
better, but it's not at an optimal level at this point yet.
Any more questions on anything on page 119? Or do we want to talk about drainage projects, the annual rear yard drainage program, the bottom? Just back up. Anything there?
I have no comments, that's all I can say is, the inventory's been reduced, it's been a great program. So next year, I think we're gonna further reduce it, based on what we see this year.
Okay, great. Okay. Last page, 120, tree trimming.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
On the emerald ash trees, how many do we save out of those? Do we have a number on
It
that?
was, 75%, let's say conservatively was, 65 to 70, because we had some mortality after we had treated some, so which was kind of expected, but again,
Well, we saved more than half. I think that's phenomenal.
oh, yes.
I've got a huge one on my property that has been saved.
Yes, 100%, and we still
In the
monitor
parkway,
that.
and another one. I mean.
We hear from certain salespeople, oh, you should start treating it again. Until I've been dependent on, Michigan State University. And until I see something more from either from our, foresters on staff or that source, then I'll bring something back, but I don't anticipate any concerns at this point.
Lastly, capital purchases.
I've got some more confusion on this than anything, Dan.
On capital purchases, Mike? Okay.
Me too.
Yeah, on this new electric truck, the $300,000 that you're showing here. And we've got the agenda memo on 147, but we're showing on this account $300,000, and we're showing $300,000 both in water and $300,000 here for a total of 600. In the revenue, we're showing grant of $300,000, which is a net of $300,000. But on the agenda memo, it's showing the total cost of 447, not 600. What is the cost? Is it cost 600? Is it 447 according
Well, it's
to?
gonna be 600. Oh, well, let me back up. If you recall, we had this discussion about the electric vehicles and whether or not we should option for the actual snowplow package. From what I recall, without not getting into it, I believe the entire package was roughly 300,000, and the grant was gonna cover 150,000 of that, if that was correct, Julie, like I said,
The
without.
cost was gonna be 157, so it was about 150 from the grant.
Right, so the total cost of the truck was gonna be 300 or I think it was gonna be 300 if I'm not mistaken. But bottom line is that there was an additional discussion of whether or not we should put a snowplow on. So we're still getting the pricing. The pricing has not been solidified through Peterbilt and the aftermarket, if you wanna say. Nothing's signed. This item is gonna come back to the city council with the full details on the breakdown, including the snow plow, whether we wanna put it on there or we're gonna kick it out. It'll be an option.
So technically, we could be looking with a snowplow and everything, the cost of getting a brand new gas one.
That is correct. The only thing that offsets this is the actual, if we were to get the truck itself, we're only paying about $1.50. And again, I'm going by memory here, so I don't have the agenda memo in front of me. $1.50. With the snowplow package, it's all electric again. And this is basically a prototype at best. So we're taking a gamble. While we're taking a gamble, we're also looking at, we've had conversations with Peterbilt to make this a prototype / showpiece, if you want to say, with this county.
So then my question, simple question is, then why would we put in the agenda memo not to exceed 447?
Again, that's for the truck. What you just told me right there is for the truck and the truck only. What we talked about at the city council. We don't know what that cost is gonna be for the snowplow package. We said that we would bring that back at a later date. This was basically just information on that agenda memo, accepting the grant, if I'm not mistaken.
So it'll be an option that the council could discuss.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. That's something we were directed to at least entertain.
How are we looking on the other snowplow trucks right now?
Great, all done, everything's, just got, say, the most recent one, outfitted with what was supposed to be outfitted, about 2-3 months ago, so everything is.
That was the one that was delayed for 2 years, or?
Yes, I can't even keep track, we had so many delays with the different trucks.
Right.
But the one was up to probably 2 years, and Mike, I'm not sure, is your question answered?
I'm just totally confused by it.
I could explain that further, and again, I have to pull up the agenda memo, but,
Dan, the bottom line is, we're placing this in here for right now. But this doesn't guarantee, we don't have to, we're not signing, seal, deliver anything until comes back to us with the final numbers.
that is correct, so, let's see I'm sorry, Jim,
So Mike, I'm not sure,
excuse me, so we're 600,000 is what we were requesting, and we're gonna get back 350.
So it costs us $250 for this whole thing, most likely.
Yes,
Just cheaper
which
than a
was,
new truck.
the
Exactly.
offset was that the 250 was equal to a gas truck at the time of our discussions, but nothing's solidified. Mike, I know you still look perplexed there, and,
No, I'm just trying, because we have, the expense, we have 300 and 300, so we're expensing 600. And then we're showing revenue of 150 and 150.
that,
yeah, I showed 3 on, the revenue.
total is 3, and if it's probably divided between the water and,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
go by
the net
memory here.
effect is $300,000 for this thing
the net, yes, for us.
with the snowplow.
That's what I'm hoping, yes.
Okay.
So it'll be less without the snowplow.
Because, yeah, I
Probably, yes.
was comparing it to that agenda memo and the numbers worth just one.
What's the new, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
What's the new Peterbilt with the gas? What's those running now? Are those at the 390?
With the snowplow package, probably close to 300.
Okay.
That's why really it becomes an offset on the electric. But there's still performance issues. So again, no one's sold on this.
But then if we get the electric, don't we have, does that include the installation of a charger?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, it just seems like going back to it, not to beat a dead horse here, but it is the year of the horse, Lunar New Year. Like kind of bringing up what Mike did, like when you look at the budget request and then you look at the agenda memo from October 6, 2025, it looks like everything like doubled. Because it says the city share was gonna be 149,000.
Right. And again, that was just, we contemplated not having a the council gave us approval without the plow package. And as Dan talked about that, I think at that point, the council was wondering, well, what would it be if we could put a plow on there?
Yeah, it just says the total cost not to exceed $447,000. So we're saying adding a snowplow would be another,
200,000.
oh, okay, wow.
So technically, we're getting to the point where a brand-new gas Peterbilt is gonna be the same as this new electric vehicle.
Correct.
Okay.
And again, really, Yeah, it's, where's the benefit? The benefit is maybe that there's a $50,000 to $75,000 savings if we go this electric route. You know, until I have more, everything from Peterbilt. You know, they keep on going back and forth and, you know, liability, responsibility. So they wanna make sure that they're covered on that perspective.
I got no problem earmarking it, but this is gonna be a big discussion later on.
It's coming back to city council 100%.
Sure.
And at the same time, if we decide to nix it, we'll let the committee know as well as city council for whatever, you know, with the reasoning and justification behind it.
And with that said, not to beat a dead horse again, are trucks looking at the next 3 years? You don't think we have any issues getting a new one or anything?
No, not at this point, no. That's one thing we just recently went through as well, to determine where we at, where do we need to be, so we're on a good rotating schedule. at this
Dan, are
point.
we replacing a vehicle?
I'm sorry?
Part of the grant was it has to be a replacement for another vehicle.
Fortunately, we were just getting ready to list the one, and we pulled it off the listing, or pulled it off, from the proposed listing, because we need to drill a hole. If we accept this bid 100%, everything gets delivered, basically the body needs to be chopped in half, literally, and the engine block itself needs to be drilled through.
Oh,
This is
so
from
you
the
have to, you
government?
can't like resell it, trade it in. You have to like, they want you to destroy, oh,
Destroy it
I
100%.
guess that's the point of
Gas for
replacing it.
guzzlers, or what is it, what was that?
I could use a spare
Remember
vehicle.
what that was called, gas for, or cash for guzzlers, or whatever that was?
Something like that.
15 years ago?
Back in college,
Cash
yeah.
for
So
clunkers, there you go.
is there a just say, like hypothetically, because we've already accepted the grant, even though they haven't given us the money, correct?
Correct.
Or the vehicle?
We've accepted the grant, we have not accepted the vehicle.
But what, is there a downstroke if we were to say no, no, thank you?
We can stop right now.
Okay, I mean, I'm not asking or advocating for that, I just was wondering if there's like a liability to us.
No.
Okay,
No, because, you know, the bottom, it was an opportunity. We took that opportunity, ran with it. It's still a savings, and without the calculations in front of me,
okay.
you know, it is some savings.
If we elected not to go with the snowplow package, is there still a use for the truck?
Yes,
Okay,
100%.
So it would still fit into the,
Yes.
our uses.
And the truck,
is
the proposed truck was only to be a dump body
Okay.
and not a snowplow. We at the same time said, hey, what's the harm if we could be monies ahead and some type of prototype, and, you know, it's an advertising piece for Peterbilt and we get some discounting on
But
it.
is the truck that you were gonna demo, get rid of, is that a snowplow?
No,
Okay, good,
We'd be replacing
good to
apple
know.
for apple.
Okay,
And there's still the charging station.
back.
that we
Charging
would get in the event we choose to have other vehicles that are electric, like cars that you drive. Or
Correct.
other people that aren't out in the cold and we worry about.
Right.
We could have the benefit of the charging station.
yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Any more questions on that category, equipment, capital purchases? Okay, so.
Quick
it's-
question.
oh,
When do we think we'll have any numbers on the plow? Well, before we vote on the budget.
I'm hoping that they're gonna
April.
be here before the budget, before we vote on the budget.
Okay.
We're so close, and I've been dogging it, and unfortunately, we have not gotten, you know, a good response.
I do think though, based on some level of confusion and lots of questions tonight, based on what was talked about and voted on back in the fall to what we're seeing now to obviously still needing more information, we're gonna need some pretty good details on the breakdown of the electric. And I think also people are gonna wanna look at the breakdown on a comparison of a regular typical gas vehicle so that we can like have the full picture.
Oh, 100%. And again, when we started this, and I'll resurrect the agenda memo and put some highlights in there. call it executive summary. We did it a while back ago, so again, make sure that everybody's got on the same page and we have the bullet points for it. So Mike will answer your question 190% correctly.
I'm happy with 100.
You're right, you're an accountant.
You just did more than 100%, Mike.
And if we're done with that section, Chairman, I'd like to bring something back to the table here.
From the streets budget?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So this is actually software, this is another software package. This software package is on the same OpenGov platform that we currently have for building, licensing, and permitting. One of the things that was in the budget all year long was a line item of 4350 in the amount of 20,000, and also the water account, which had a $20,000 share, if you want to say, for a total of 40,000. So again, FY 25-26 was basically $40,000. We went out early last year and started exploring what do we need for the OpenGov platform. The OpenGov platform was to include a system that we currently have. It's referred to as a work system. Is it truly a work order system? There's some ambiguity between work order system and a work task software. This software has been in place since approximately 2013. There's not had any updates. It's a company that's basically went from a gentleman that started in Darien, actually sold it off. It went from Web Q&A to another advanced Web Q&A, and eventually to Granicus. Granicus is a bigger corporation. Mayor Marquez and Brian, we had discussions back in January on preliminary discussions about the budget. During the budget, we were presented some numbers from the platform, and to my dismay, basically it doubled. Actually, it was a little more than doubled. Bringing that up at the midnight hour to the mayor and Brian obviously did not sit well with anyone, including myself. So we basically pulled it out of the budget until for further justification. Since that January 21st meeting that we had internally, we went back to the current platform that we have, and that is Granicus. Granicus/Web Q&A. Again, keep in mind that this is software from 2013. We had I have had several email correspondences back to the Web Q&A and who was supposed to be our rep. Telephone numbers for these individuals are very difficult to locate, number one. We have about 7 emails, without my getting into detail, with a very poor response and or lack of follow-up. I even went as far as to write to the CEO of Granicus for feedback and tell him about the, how the dissatisfaction of customer service was. So with that said, I've talked to our staff internally, and we'd like to resurrect this and resurrect it to a tune of $80,000 for the entire year. So we currently, like I said, have $40,000 in the budget this year that we're not going to use. I shouldn't say we're not going to use. We'd like to start implementing that $40,000 that we currently have for the proposed software in conjunction with the May 1st budget of an additional $40,000. 20,000 from the water, 20,000 from the street. So what we're asking for, in a nutshell, is an additional $40,000 and a carryover of the $40,000 that's currently in the budget. I could provide further feedback. Again, it's been very frustrating from my end to be able to, just to keep on communicating to people that don't respond. And it's, we have a whole slew of correspondences that I've sent to the mayor as well as the city administrator. So again, I don't want to bore you with that because we'll be here for the next 3 hours, but I'd be more than happy to share that with you tomorrow, just for information if you get bored. Again, there's a lot of nonsense in there, a lot of irresponsibility. And again, hopefully the patch can pick this up and go to Granicus with it as well.
And Alderwoman, this is what I mentioned to you earlier. What I'd like to do is, Dan wanted to just give a preview tonight but we would do a write-up and continue the discussion on this when we talk about the water fund at the next meeting. We're not looking for a decision tonight, we just wanted to throw it out there and, preparation for the next meeting, because it's something.
I'm sorry, I'm a little
Go ahead, Ted.
confused on something. When we raise it to 80, does that go to Granicus or getting rid of them?
No, we would get rid of them,
So they're gone completely?
yes.
And so the new company that we would use, I'm assuming would be a lot better.
Part of OpenGov, right?
It's OpenGov, and that's the current system that we have in place right now. So the goal of it is that we need to standardize. We can't be, in my opinion, and some of the other professionals out there, can't be jumping around between this software, can this do this, can you integrate into this? And again, it's a newer world for me. As far as all this, so I've really been trying to get educated on it. I'm not the expert, but again, I can't tell you that when you have that one system,
That works?
it works, and you're able to navigate through it without going through a learning curve again, as we did with OpenGov for some of the other employees when we first came out with the licensing, the business licensing, for example.
Okay, so just to backpedal for a second. So in this current year budget, there was an allocation of 20,000 in streets and 20,000 in water.
That is correct.
Okay, and that was to pay for the web Q&A, or was that the intent to switch over to OpenGov?
The intent was to switch over to OpenGov. After we got into it, there was more integration than we
So
realized.
OpenGov quoted you though originally $40,000?
Yes.
A year ago, let's just say, a year
Yes,
ago.
yes.
So there was intention to have a conversion from this web Q&A Granicus to OpenGov in this current year.
Yes.
But then it didn't happen because it was more involved than they expected?
Yes.
And that's why the price doubled?
Correct. And it was actually a little more than double, but and it evolves from, I'm gonna make a simple presentation here, from work orders that get called in, that get emailed, and residents' concerns that get emailed in. So this will all go to that system. From that system, it would basically be implemented to our superintendent for distribution or to whoever we decide. This system would also encapsulate what's referred to as the fuel master. We have an accounting, we do manual accounting with the fuel system currently, and the software is gonna be discontinued here within the next year, if not this year. So with that said, what happens there is Chris has to go to one computer, basically get the readings off of that computer, and then send them over to Julie for additional accounting. Am I correct on that portion of it? And then the other portion of that is, which OpenGov would integrate with it, is the mechanic schedule. So based on so many gallons of fuel, there's a separate system then that basically says, hey, mechanic, you need to do an oil change on this. So it's a combination of, I'll call it 3 to 4 systems combined into one that integrates to the people that we choose to, delegate to for work.
So you're gonna come back to us next week with more detail about this?
Yes.
We'll send something out.
I'll send.
Yeah, you'll get it ahead of time,
Yeah, ahead of time.
so
there's
that
a
people
few
can
things
come
we
prepared
want-
to ask questions.
Yeah, there's a few things tonight. We'll try to get a packet out, hopefully tomorrow. Some of Mike's questions on the numbers and
Okay.
some of these things.
Okay. Does anyone have any more questions tonight on that particular software package conversion to OpenGov for Dan? Okay.
Yeah, thank you for that consideration.
Anything else? Oh, no problem. Anything else on streets tonight? I'm just making some notes, so give me a second. Okay, so we will, for now, wrap up streets. We'll obviously be going back to it next week. To talk, we're not thinking we'll have the electric truck stuff next week. No, yeah, but that's for later, but the software is next week.
I'll still do a recap on it and.
Okay, right. Okay. Great. Okay, well, we will wrap up streets and then move into capital. which is page 170. Everyone okay, time-wise, and time check, it's 8:35. The night is young. Feel free, guys, to stand up and stretch or grab a snack. Okay. So,
Yeah, 'cause I knew there was an offset.
capital projects. We'll start with the summary page on 170. Mike, I'm counting on you to see something. No, nothing for you?
Oh,
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Dan, is there anything you want to highlight?
Mike says, no, I'm in good shape.
Sullivan, we talked a little bit about it last night, because the revenue for the capital projects is primarily from transfers from the general fund. So as we talked about last night, we do see the transfer from the general fund reduced over 28 and 29. We would like to have as much as we can, but when you go down to the bottom of that page, even if you're looking at fiscal year ending 29, the estimate is we would end with a fund balance of 15,800,000, which would, even if that were to stay true and the numbers were accurate, that would even carry us for a couple more years. So even though we have less we're transferring in, I think the fund as a whole is doing very well, and very happy with the estimated fund balances throughout the 3 years.
Very good point to highlight.
proud of Mike.
Okay, it's all yours, Mike.
Just a couple quick things. Clarification, Dan, grants reimbursements, 400,000. I'm assuming that's the Cass Plainfield with DuPage County?
That is correct.
Okay. And secondly, it's more for Brian, the interest income, we're projecting 800,000 for next year. Brian, I think that needs to be pulled back a little bit with interest rates coming down. Balance is going down a little bit and interest rates have been going down. I'd be much more comfortable probably in the 700,000 range for next year. That's all I got on that page.
Okay.
Good catch.
Any more questions on the summary page? If not, we'll move on, the overview page, we'll move on to the summary pages, 171. Okay. We've got some backup with these items. So figure we'll start at the top, stormwater ditch projects.
Well, can you explain the Wildwood Stormwater
Yes.
project?
And see, that's got, it's very interesting, and this started out with something, number one, the road is getting done this year, and the second part of it is that there's been some drainage that's been identified, there's no curb and gutter inlets on Wildwood Court. Wildwood Court is approximately 150 feet long by 30 feet wide. So there's no inlets on that road. So what it basically depends on is gravity flow through the curb lines. And it's very antiquated at best. It was not designed with the right intentions, something like we did on Sawyer on Farmingdale Road a couple of years ago. In conjunction with that, the proposed development that's coming in on Plainfield Road, there was an opportunity here where we, staff, said, hey, Mr. Developer, you should look at an easement for a storm sewer between these two apartment buildings, because the apartment buildings were basically helping or contributing to this flooding, icing concern every year. So the two residents, a little bit of language barriers, said, oh yeah, we got this problem, we didn't know who to go to, so I said, okay, so we tried to create an easement. While we tried to create an easement, the county got involved with, the developer wanted to also put in a sanitary sewer, so things got very complicated. So from that perspective, we backed out of I'll call it, working with the developers, so that's within the attorney's hands. That was a conversation from yesterday's meeting in regards to the follow-up or the question. So we have proposed that the city would basically install a storm sewer system from, and within that cul-de-sac and tie it into Regency Grove. The original plan was to have the developer, and it still may happen, that we may task the developer as part of the improvement to basically run from the proposed development, pending that he gets the easement, through the easement, and through our roadway and tie into Regency Grove Drive at his expense. So again, I'm not sure if the easement's gonna go through. The developer may have to look for an alternative solution to where the storm sewer discharge is. Best scenario is that we have the opportunity and it's zero cost. I will not know that probably until after the budget is approved. So there is a contingency, I don't wanna call it a contingency, but that's what it is, that we may not need this monies due to the developer obligation. But it is needed, and the road is paved this year and going to be paved this year, it's scheduled. So the opportunity to do this is now versus later.
Still seems cheap, though.
Yeah, we're doing it in-house. Great project for our guys.
Any more questions on Wildwood Storm Sewer Project? Sidewalk replacements?
Yeah, I'm gonna yak on that one a little bit, and just to your benefit, Dan. The concrete milling, last year we budgeted $250, next year $83,000. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on it, I'm happy to see that. But yet this year, we're still close to budget. Last year, are we cutting back on that for next year, or why the significant decrease?
Because the last 2 years, we basically did a citywide. While we've done the citywide, my goal now was to take another wait and see approach. How far do we get with needed, we did some calculations. I worked with the vendor, how far can we get, and did some averages, so it's not a science. So I'm hoping that we, can get a good quadrant covered.
That's fine, you've thought it through, thank you.
Did you say you paid a compliment to me?
Well, it's really,
making sure you
you
thought
see it all over the place, literally. I mean,
Making sure you meant what you did.
We didn't have any issues with the government on the ADA sidewalks. We got that.
That was all resolved. Again, it's a little bit of psych from engineers.
Gotcha.
moving on, curb and gutter program. Questions there?
Dan, the only comment, again, if the weather's nice, you might want to start that earlier if the council approves.
Correct. Yeah, and again, let's see, the answer is yes to the question. I don't recall if we just recently approved that or not, or it's coming back up. So again, we've had a lot of agenda items lately, but,
Start
so,
tomorrow.
yeah, the way it's going. Yeah, so we'd appreciate that opportunity. Gives us a great head start. My goal, as I said before, is to be done with road construction in Darien by July 4th.
Great. Capital improvements, infrastructure.
All right, I got one. So salt shed, 450,000 for a new roof? Really?
Yes, there's again, that was just the encapsulation for a line item. What happened? Where we been? Last year, we spent, I think, 150,000 it was, going by memory again, and the salt shed obviously is close to 12, 15 years, if I'm not mistaken.
13, I think it was 2013. When was John on?
That's about right, John Galan, yes.
Long was on, about 2013, 2012, 2013.
So one of the issues, and again, bringing this up, we've been studying it through engineers, through the manufacturer, is that there was never what they call a momentum load that was put on the salt shed. So in other words, when you start piling salt up, you've got guys with a large piece of machinery that could basically almost take a dump truck per se, take whatever's in that dump truck, and almost half of that load from that dump truck could be taken by our machine and put into the salt bin. As it's put into the salt bin, it's piled higher, higher, and higher. When that machine is coming in there, it's basically pounding that material against the walls. The shed, or the salt storage shed is basically tip-up panel walls. And it's all held together by bar joists and without the engineering, technical stuff here, it's basically held in by these bars up on top. The wall started cracking. At first, we thought it was just basically stress cracks, went back into it, and it's somewhat structural cracks. We had engineers look at it, we had also the manufacturer look at it, and no one can give us a positive answer that it's, needs to come down or that it's a hazard in any shape or form. So it was a wait and see. We purchased these I'll call them calipers that we stuck on the building side. They're basically used for earthquakes, seismic monitors. And the seismic monitors were put on these cracks and they were monitored. Well, since then, it's been very minimal movement, and minimal movement was due to, again, the force back and forth. So we went to a preventive maintenance. That first preventive maintenance basically meant that let's take care of the outside, seal up the outside, caulk it so we don't get water penetration into there. The second part of this is where we're getting to right now is we took a area of a wall and we put this, the company put this product on there. And again, the product is a urethane of some sort. And they caulked it, put the urethane covering on it. It's held up over the last 6-7 months. So we know that this material now can withstand the salt environment. And what it is that the salt throughout the summer, the fall, basically creates a condensation, gets into these cracks, has the opportunity to get into the actual steel of the precast panels. If that happens, it's like a bridge. So the bridges will deteriorate. We're not at that point. With this proposal, it includes the actual walls, to coat all these walls. We take all the salt out, it all gets washed down, the cracks gets caulked with some type of vulcanized caulking. There's bar joists in there. The bar joists, again, due to the corrosive environment, have been deteriorating. This includes those bar joists all being grinded, sandblasted, coated, and then the problem also moves to the roof. It's a flat roof. The roof, when it was originally designed, had a lack of, I'll call it drainage for better, for easier terminology to understand. So with that said, the insulation, we just tested last week, the insulation on that salt shed is good. But the roof, the deck itself, the membrane needs to get removed and replaced, and it's gonna be a different type of membrane along with gutters or scutters along the edges to allow the water to shed and dissipate away from the building versus running along the walls on the building. That is the optimal, most cost that this project can be expended, or I should say budgeted for, $450,000. Is it gonna come in less? Based on some news that I just received today, it may be $50,000. We're doing a pre-bid right now as we speak on the actual roof part of it. So the first part of it for the walls is I think it was 120, close to 120, 150 in comparison to what was 200,000. So again, I want to be cautious. I will provide whatever numbers I can from this pre-bid to get a better determination.
We built that salt.
For 280.
About 200,000.
Yeah, exactly. That same salt shed, that same salt shed would go for approximately almost $1 million today. And then with the comparison to that is the Village of Woodridge, and it would only hold half the storage that's within the footprint that we have. It would only be able to withhold half that storage.
If we do this, you think we'll get another 10 years out of that salt shed?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, there's nothing telling me, plus we have the guarantee right now on this wall, it's a 10-year guarantee on labor and materials. So the vendor that's done this for us, it will be the same vendor After researching it a little more, I feel more confident with the approach that we're taking and how we're approaching it.
Joe, this goes back to the situation we were originally looking at, the $1.50 one.
Yeah.
That thing would never lasted 10 years if we did the original one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're stored, they don't even build them anymore, as a matter of
The
fact.
one that we were
The
looking at
domes, yeah.
originally for the $1.50?
No, because they blow out the walls. The guys blow out the walls on those.
We subcontracted this one ourselves. That's why we were able to reduce the cost.
Right.
So Dan, everything you just explained in the salt shed would be covered in this 450,000,
Yes.
even though it's labeled roof.
Correct, without putting 32 acronyms behind it and confusing anybody more.
Okay, I want to make sure.
Yeah, but there will be an agenda memo.
I figured
on
as
that
much, I
well.
just-
Yes,
So,
That's a good point.
at least another 10 years.
so the question is, 10 years from now, do we replace it or do we have to get a bigger footprint? That's another story.
Public Works building, yes, okay.
Look at Brian.
Had to come up.
Okay.
Thanks for the softball.
You've raised two controversial topics tonight.
Dan, I'm reading the letter that's attached as an exhibit, and I don't follow what you said compared to what's in the letter.
Okay.
So can you kind of, because the numbers, I don't see 450,000 anywhere in the letter. It seems like it's 150 plus 30, and then, or it could be as high as 550, 650. So I'm trying to figure out where we are in this letter that gets us to what you think we need 450 for.
The total budget that they originally came back with earlier in the year of January 16th was 550 to 650,000 based on.
That's option two, and again, what's option one?
Option one is part of this, that's the walls within in the inside. So what I've done now is taken this line item and combined everything, and as the information is coming in, or has been coming in, I've been updating it. Again, this is just some backup of what it was going to be. We reduced it since then, since we did the budget. So again, some of this is way too much. And there's gonna be a cleanup. That's the best information that I had at the time.
I mean, because it talks about a 20-year warranty too.
Correct. And again, I said 10-year, there's some things that were 10-year, 20-year. The warranty will also be
So there'll be a
submitted.
whatever we end up doing, there will be some type of warranty involved in it.
That is correct.
And we're using this Garland company.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
I'm sorry not to cut you off, but if we did option two in 20-year warranty, that sounds great and fantastic. But if somebody runs into the wall and the whole thing comes crashing down, sayonara on the money, right?
Well, that's exactly it. I
That's
mean,
why option one would be a better choice I'm looking at.
well, and the option one
they're
is only
combined.
partial.
It's very
Oh, okay.
drastic.
It's only partial work. That's why there's, this
Option one is just the
memo.
walls. That's the
Exactly.
way I read it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But the combination of both with option number two, again, his memo is not accurate.
To date.
Right, to date number one, and his totals, if you look at the 550 to 650, are astronomical, number one. And number two, I think he's being ambiguous without there's other sheets that are separate, but at least we wanted to put something out there that we got information on this.
So we still think we're not going over, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, we're gonna get a more detailed
Detailed,
breakdown
right.
of where the 450 is going and what it's for?
Yeah, yes, I mean, it's all related to the salt shed and
No, I
this-
understand that,
Yeah,
I'm just
no.
saying, it didn't make, when I was reading that, and then what you said, it wasn't, making sense to me.
As it's all coming in, and I think, let's see, was it the last sheets?
This is a month old, the letter, so.
It's
Yeah.
actually
240.
2025.
Oh.
5, Tom.
Jeez, I was looking, I assumed it was a month old. Okay.
Yeah, this is last
So more to come.
2025, right. So again, there's been a lot of work
Okay.
that's been going into this. I'm sorry, I thought you had the year on.
No, I was looking at
I
January
kinda-
16th thinking, oh, it was a
I was
month
in the,
ago.
I didn't look at I saw January 16th, I didn't even think that it was a year old. I thought with
Right.
Tom, it was a month
Yeah,
old.
because coming back with that figure at that time was nonsense, definitely. That's why I'm saying that this memo is just outdated.
Okay.
So any more questions on the salt shed project? Okay. City Hall window replacement, any questions on that?
I guess the only question is, I know they need to be done. The question is, do you put in the windows before we need to do anything on the outside of the building?
Yeah, it's immaterial because the way these
Does that have anything to
windows,
do with each other?
no, the way these windows are designed, it's basically a remove and replace.
Okay.
And the goal of it was to go to casement windows versus double hung windows. I mean, can't even many offices can't open this, the windows.
Just as a side note, I just found the municipal service minutes from July 26, 2010, and you guys approved it for $280,000.
Was it 2010?
2010, July 26, 2010.
We
I
saved-
know. Pretty good.
Yeah, but we saved money on that.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
That shows how long ago it was.
I thought we got it down like to 210 or something like that.
Yeah, well, all I know is it paid for itself in 2013, 2014, when that nightmare winter came through with 90 inches of snow.
Yeah, we had the salt.
Everybody was, we were the only ones that had salt. You remember that?
We were gonna name it the Potawatomi Salt Shed because we convinced John to do it.
Rest in peace, God bless, okay.
It's the combination of Jerry.
Got us off track.
And I wish I could have
I'm
been sitting up here for that sale job.
Paid for itself over and over and over again.
Dead. Great accomplishment.
We got a new 9-ton dump truck because we had one break in front of his house during a snowstorm.
It was not planned, all right?
I don't know about that.
Actually, another one, we pulled it around the corner and then we brought the bad one, we just
You
parked it
did
right
live right
Hey,
there on
John.
the corner on
Good to
that,
see you.
off of
Dan in the back
75th.
pushing it.
Yeah, it sure didn't break down on 75th Street.
Oh, man.
Just had around the corner just to conk out, right?
And then MacGyver didn't want one and we said, oh, by the way, that's the one that's giving out. Oh, that changed
One
that
needs 5 quarts of oil or.
Yeah, and this was like, what? Oh, man. Sorry, some old memories.
You know, good memories though. Okay, any more questions on capital improvements infrastructure?
I have a couple comments.
Yes.
You will note that there are 2 items on there for storage facility for public works / city hall garage in fiscal year '28. And then, I'm just saying storage facility for public works in fiscal year '29. And in the '28 for the, what is earmarked as a city hall garage was 200,000. And then earmarked in fiscal year '29 is 500,000. And, you know, over the year, Dan and the group will come up with some plan of where maybe we can get some additional storage. Not for trucks, not new public works building, but storage for, you know, a lot of the other things that they're storing now. So I just wanted to point that out, that, you know, get 700,000 within a 3-year period.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else on that area? Okay, we'll move on to street reconstruction.
Got a question on that one?
Yes.
The school district, Dan, we're showing the 175.5. I assume that's reimbursable from them?
100%.
Okay, if it is, shouldn't that be reflected in the revenue for the capital projects fund?
I guess the answer is yes and no. We don't have the IGA in place. It's coming up to municipal services this Monday, city council, March 3rd, so preempted in there, yes, and we just had a bid opening 2 weeks ago, so I guess the real question is, yeah, I don't deal with the revenue so much, so probably, right, Brian, Julie?
Yeah, I mean, some of that's accounting, when you get reimbursement, you deduct from it, that'll be up to Julie.
SCC's got a new parking lot.
Into a separate revenue account, so.
So,
Yeah, but I mean, we're reflecting the expense and we're not
I would add
reflecting the
that,
revenue
Mike.
anywhere right
but we
right
do
now.
need to add it, yes.
We will add
Yeah,
that.
I'll add that into the, yeah.
So are we saving them money by doing it, or why? are we
School?
doing- Yeah,
Oh,
why?
yeah.
oh, big time,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're very happy with the, you know.
Like we did the fire department this
Yeah.
past year.
Yes.
On the buck 250 for the road program, how many miles? Is that still over 5?
Approximately 5, yes.
Okay. That's a pretty good price.
Saving them money, that's good.
Yeah, we try, you know, first kids on the block, well, get out, get it, you know, get in, get out.
Any more questions on streets? Consulting? Any more questions on the overall capital projects fund budget? wrap that one for this evening. Doing a time check, it's 9 o'clock. Is everyone game to go into water, or do we want to wait, or what do we want to?
I would probably like to wait, because there's a couple other things we want to work on that computer stuff
Sure.
and a couple other things.
Sure. Anything else you think we should cover tonight?
I think we made great progress tonight,
Okay.
so.
Great. Is there anything else anyone wants to share before we wrap tonight? Anything we want to ask staff to work on in addition to what we've already noted?
This doesn't have to do with the budget, but I've been getting a lot of complaints from residents who live in the Farmingdale area. It might be Gary's work. They basically said that when they're coming off Farmingdale Drive and they're trying to turn onto 75th Street,
To make that left.
to make that
We've
left,
looked at it already,
they,
yeah.
they said the traffic flow is, the cars are exceeding the speed limit, and you're taking your life in your hands trying to make a left-hand turn.
And the way that median comes out, Mayor, it comes out pretty far that you have to kind of get around that to make your turn. We've looked at it, Dan, and they said it was like all within,
They're asking me if we could have a light, a street light.
I haven't heard that. I've been asked to try to just push back that median, that you can make that left-hand
They say
turn
it's-
going west to
It's
east.
dangerous. It's dangerous. So they've almost been
This is
hit.
right by Hinsdale South?
No, right across from Our Lady of
Lady of
Peace.
Peace.
Right by Our Lady of Peace.
Farmingdale, where the condos are.
Okay.
You're at the stop sign and you want to go westbound, you got to go across. And there's a break in the median, you go across and to make your left-hand turn.
Yeah, okay.
Even to make a right-hand turn to go eastbound on 75th Street, they said the cars are coming so fast,
Right.
it's hard to even make a turn that way.
And, with all due respect, I think the first thing we need to do is check with the police department to see if there's how many accidents have occurred there, because that's if this is an indication of a traffic signal, that's the first question that's gonna be asked.
I mean, it's-
But look at that median again, because it comes out so far east that you have to, it's hard that you have to go around it to go.
Another
west.
crazy turn is Hinsdale South, if you're going, south on Clarendon Hills Road and turning left onto 75th, it's like you gotta go this way, because that wide median, it's a nightmare.
I'm not surprised that you've heard about it. I mean, I heard a number of complaints this weekend from people. in that area.
Can
Yes,
I
Joanne.
ask a question about our parking lot out here, that it's very dark at night?
Not anymore, it's not, go out there now. We just put the light back on today.
Cha-ching.
You asked and you will receive.
Yeah, right,
Let there be light.
But that's what you call service, right?
And if it's not lit up, then something happened. Put it at the back. 3 o'clock, yeah. There you go, I'm going out the back then.
When I left last night, I thought, holy cow, and it was really dark.
Yep, 100%.
Without further ado, thank you, everybody, for tonight. Can I have a
Nice job,
motion to
Mary.
adjourn?
Great job, Mary.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. How to go across the street?